Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast. I'm your host, Didi. Appreciate you all for tuning in as always. Please hit the like button on your way in. That goes a long way. I am sitting here with my guest that I am meeting for the very first time. His name is Warren Smith. Thanks to many of you all, he responded. I'm assuming he saw the comments, and he has agreed. First and foremost, he's a lot more. I never thought he was an aggressive person, but a lot more kind than I thought he was going to be privately. Really respectful guy, and kudos to him for agreeing to have a conversation. I was called dumb by Jake Rattlesnake earlier today on Twitter, which I thought was interesting because that's typically what the quote unquote left does. They resort to ad hominem, but that's not Warren Smith. He was more than willing to have a conversation. And so here we are. I want to start off at the beginning of this live stream by stating that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I hope that you can grow a relationship with him in your lifetime. And before I sort of get into it, I'm going to give Warren an opportunity to sort of introduce himself and let the audience know who he is if they don't know you already.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. I make videos on YouTube, try and think critically as best I can. Used to be a teacher. Yeah, thanks. Let's do it.
Heck yeah, let's do it. Okay. So I want to just state that there's a very good chance in this conversation we will not even discuss the weird behaviors of all the people on the day that everything happened with Charlie. Because I'm going to I don't want to give anybody an out. And by anybody, I don't mean Warren, even though he's the person I'm speaking to, the audience, anybody who's on Warren's side, holds his position, his worldview. I'm not going to give them an out by stating that, oh, just because somebody was behaving strangely, we don't know what that means. Okay, fine. I'm not even going to give you that, even though there's overwhelming things to look at from just that perspective. We're going to just delve into the evidence. But I do want to just state something here at the very beginning. Can we establish, Warren, can we agree before we even get into this that there are two separate things that are taking place? One of those things is that there are those of us, many of us, you and I are probably in the same category here, that are assessing and maybe even scrutinizing the evidence that's been presented, the case that is currently taking place. That's one thing that's taking place. And then the second thing are those of us that's willing to go the next step and start theorizing or coming up with our own theories as to what we believe may have happened that day. Can we agree that there's a distinction there?
Yes, of course. Let's also keep in mind that what I'm hoping to get to, what I'm interested in, is why you wanted to have this debate to begin with, because the response just to my analysis, just to my video, seems strange. I don't understand it. So this began with your tweet. So if we could, what do you think was unfair? Why did you want to have this debate?
Yes. Thank you for the question. Your analysis of, which I know was just a short video, it wasn't exhaustive at all. Can you and I agree your analysis was extremely one-sided and extremely misleading?
Okay, I would love to hear how that is. My goal with that video is to describe the dynamics I see through the lens solely of the prompt. So based on the prompt, what did I see? The good, the bad, from both. I gave in your tweet, you claimed I did not say anything about any negatives towards Andrew, which is not true. I pointed out his failure to be able to list one of the charges. So what was unfair?
Okay, fair. I don't know why I don't remember that. Maybe you said that at the very, because I clicked off your video with I think 30 seconds left. I literally watched just about all of it. So unless you mentioned it right before the video ended, I don't remember you speaking about that. But it was extremely unfair in my opinion, respectfully, because I mean there's a lot of things. I took notes here. Let's talk about a few things with Mr. Andrew Wilson. Well, before we get into that, let me ask you, do you agree with the assessment? How convinced are you that Tyler Robinson took out Charlie?
I would agree with Andrew 75 to 85. I think that was pretty a good approach. If you were to ask me where would I put my money, if I had to put all my money in my bank account onto what I think happened, based on the evidence that I can see based on the analysis and all the indicators, I would put my money. I think I have the most chance of a return by putting it on Tyler Robinson.
Okay.
Would do you disagree?
I would definitely disagree. Would you say that there's overwhelming evidence?
What do you mean by overwhelming? I think
I
there's
guess
more
that's
evidence to indicate that than anything else.
okay. Okay. So you wouldn't
I don't know
describe it
what
necessarily as
overwhelms you.
overwhelming. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
No. What I asked you was, so you wouldn't describe it necessarily as overwhelming?
I don't know what overwhelmed. That's subjective. I
Fair.
don't know what you mean by. I mean, do you
Fair.
see a more like? What would you put your money on? Do you?
I don't believe that Charlie Kirk was taken out by Tyler Robinson all by his lonesome from the rooftop of the Logie Center. But the reason why I wanted to establish that before I got into the Andrew thing is because he states that there is overwhelming evidence that Charlie Kirk was pow by Tyler Robinson. But then he says he's only 75 to 85% sure, which is not overwhelming at all.
But again, overwhelming. What is overwhelming to you might not be overwhelming to me. I
We can look
wouldn't
up the
suggest
definition
getting
of the word.
fixated on that.
Okay.
But I think if we're going to go with someone being overly invested in a position without something to back it up, Candace Owens said there was a 0% chance Tyler Robinson is the one who pulled the trigger. Do you have a problem with that claim?
I don't like to delve into absolutes. So if I was in Candace's position, maybe I wouldn't have said the number 0. However, I will state, if I remember correctly, and you all fact check me on this, I believe it was how convinced are you? I believe the question was how convinced
so
are
he's
you?
100% convinced.
Yeah. And I understand where Candace is coming from with that. And we're going to get into
Could you
the
explain
evidence
that? Okay. I would love to get into that as soon as
today.
possible.
Heck yeah. Okay. So just real quick with Andrew, you asked earlier, let's a few things. So you want to talk about the text messages. So he claimed that he has this text message from Charlie stating that the left was going to take him out the night before. Do you have any thoughts about that? Because if you mentioned that in your video, again, I may have missed it because you may have mentioned it right at the end, right before the video.
Oh, the new text that Andrew presented at the beginning. No, I was kind of focusing on what I think was the biggest. Yeah, the score. If I were to give it a score based upon the debate prompts, which completely that opening 0% chance changes the stakes, like that is the prompt. It's an interesting piece of, I guess you could call it evidence. Yes, that text message. I don't think it drastically changes anything. It was my suspicion before. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I actually agree with you. I don't think it actually changes anything because that would almost indicate that Charlie received a threat from Tyler Robinson himself for him to just make that statement right before. But we don't have to get into that. The purpose of me mentioning.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, yeah, I'll elaborate. So even if it's true that Charlie Kirk texts someone the night before that he's afraid the left is going to take him out, it doesn't prove that Tyler Robinson did it.
Sure.
Would you? So yes, that's all I mean.
Know. Right. No, it's not direct proof.
Okay. So, but the purpose of me mentioning the text message, because I don't remember you ever mentioning it in your video, is because, well, number one, Erica Kirk contradicted him months ago. Are you aware of this?
Right. Yes. There's many things that Erica Kirk has done. I think Candace has made many valid points about Erica Kirk, observations of strange behavior. So I have no problem if someone finds what she does strange or has questions about her qualifications. I think that is completely outside the actual debate prompt itself, whether or not Erica Kirk is qualified to lead Turning Point or things of that sort.
That's fair. And I could go through the other things, but you did make it clear that you were covering it from the lens of what the prompt was and how they
solely
conducted
on logic,
themselves
not
accordingly. But yes. Fair enough. I just thought from an ethical perspective, if I'm going to cover a video like that, but you're free to do what you want in your video, of course, but I would have definitely mentioned the fact that Andrew Wilson said at the very beginning of the debate that it's very ghoulish to profit off of the death of a good man, to only then later in the video state himself that he's not going to release the text messages because he has to dribble out that evidence on his own channel.
And do you understand the point? Can you guess what the point is that he's trying to make? Do you think he's trying to make a larger point there about you don't think he is?
Nope. But you can tell
No,
me though.
when he's talking about dripping out the evidence, kind of in a mocking way, to kind of show the hypocrisy to Candace of when there's evidence and you ask me to present it as he asked her, she says, "Watch my show." Well, you should watch my show. I think that's what you can. You see how that might instigate that response?
Definitely see where you're
Okay.
going. Here's the problem though. If
Uh-huh.
that's the point that Andrew Wilson is trying to make, he's supposed to make the statement as a joke and then provide the evidence and crush Candace right there on her
Should
show with that
Candace be held
argument.
to that same standard?
I agree. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Well, I agree then. Fair enough.
Yep, I definitely agree with you.
I'm
And,
okay.
and I've for the record, because I'm assuming you've probably never heard of me until today, I've been critical of Candace, like the way she's dripped out evidence, if you will, over the months instead of just releasing more at once. But people have given me pushback and saying, well, she's being strategic. I'm still not a fan of it. So I definitely understand anybody who comes from that perspective, for the record. Um, Let me see before we move on. Oh, yes, this is very important. Andrew Wilson stated that it's amazing to him how cooperative TPUSA is if you approach them in good faith. Do you see anything wrong with this statement?
Do I see anything wrong?
Yeah, just on this for face value. Like, is there anything weird that you
Just
find
go ahead
about
and
this?
just go ahead and tell me, and then we
Sure,
can
sure.
discuss
I
it.
find it weird, just first and foremost, because if there was evidence, you don't need to approach an organization like TPUSA. You shouldn't have to, in good faith. If you
I
have
got you.
evidence to
I
support your
agree, man.
claim, you should
We can
go ahead.
save time. I agree that Turning Point has handled this extremely poorly. Looking back, I'm just thinking it's difficult to imagine handling it worse.
Okay.
Yeah, if I were to give them advice, go debate Candace. They've invited you to debate. Go debate her. Like, what? Why aren't you?
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
you guys should have done something with this tweet. You could have posted. You could have shared that a long time ago.
Fair.
Like, I don't know what they're doing, man. But that has
The
nothing to do with the video I made or the debate.
Yeah, I agree. The last thing I'll say, and then we'll get into the evidence, is
Okay.
I mentioned that only to state a TPUSA ex employee who handled the emails for TPUSA has come out. I don't know if you saw it, and she stated that he's lying because hundreds, if not thousands, of people have been emailing and reaching out to TPUSA in good faith, and they were told explicitly not to interact with any of those individuals. So Andrew Wilson lied.
I mean, it's potential. I don't know. Maybe it's potential. Also, someone gave him. I haven't even heard that story.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
my,
she's on video.
okay. That I mean, that might be the case. I don't know what that has to do with my analysis in the video, though.
It was a lot of things you left out of your analysis. Is all my, but fair enough, fair
No,
enough.
go run through them, man. Like if there's, but things that are relative, like if there are points Candace made, not stylistic, not things you find interesting, but facts, evidence in relation to the prompt.
Yeah,
What did I
fair.
miss? Yeah,
Okay.
and
Um,
I'm not. If I'm short, I'm not being. I'm not trying to be rude to you. I'm just trying to save time.
fair enough. I appreciate the clarification. Are you, just for a good measure, are you familiar with the 7 charges against Tyler?
I'm. Yeah, we've got aggravated murder, using a weapon. I don't remember the exact specific language. I'm really bad at informational recall, especially legal language. Discharge of a weapon in front of a child. Uh, what is it? Witness tampering. Whether or not when he said, "Don't get a lawyer and don't talk to the police." Some of them are just like,
Yeah. I mean,
um,
you got it for the most part. It's aggravated murder. It's uh the
I wouldn't have been
firing
able
of
to recount that
a
probably if I were in the
weapon,
debate.
2 counts of tampering with evidence, 2 counts of obstruction of justice, violence in front of a minor. But the point is, the very first charge against Tyler is aggravated murder. Do you know why it's specifically aggravated murder? Because Andrew seemed to think that and just regular murder is the same thing, and it's not. Do you understand why he was charged specifically with aggravated?
I'm not a lawyer. My guess would be that it would have to do with premeditation. Is that correct?
My understanding is no. My understanding is that it's aggravated murder instead of regular murder because he fired in a crowd and he could potentially harmed, let alone unalived, another person.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's uh let's get into the evidence, man. Um
So are there any other because I'm just trying to understand your response to like why my video upset you so much.
Well, because I said it like it was extremely one-sided. I think Andrew Wilson embarrassed
That's just
himself.
how the cookie crumbled logically. That's not my fault. That's just when I apply the analysis, that's just how it comes out. That doesn't mean I'm choosing to be biased.
No, I definitely understand it. It comes off that way that you were choosing. I'm explaining to you why. Candace Owens is taking the defense's position. Andrew Wilson is taking the position of the state, which means by default, it's not Candace Owens' job or anybody who's take Candace Owens' position to provide any evidence, Warren. Not one piece of evidence. It's their job to provide reasonable
It's a
doubt.
debate though over their claims. Who has the stronger claim? So why have the debate then if you're not going to have the burden of supporting your claim with evidence? That's the point of the debate. And I agree with you. That was her strategy, which is why I made the video the way I did, because I also got that sense she was not interested in debating. I've heard this argument. It's just so hilarious to me.
I'm so confused here. So I guess for the sake of time, we could just bypass because your perspective is that
important one. We don't need to bypass it. This is better.
Okay, fair. I'm not. I disagree with your framing there.
What?
My understanding is that I'm just trying to make sure I word this correctly. My understanding is that Candace Owens was in a position where she was defending the fact that she does not believe that Tyler Robinson is guilty. And I believe Patrick Bet-David cleared this up at the very beginning. She believes he's a patsy. She has to defend that position. The way that she chose to defend that position is by poking holes in the evidence that does not prove that Tyler Robinson did it. Therefore, by definition, he would be a patsy.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So if she points to potential, there could be more to this, and here, and maybe here, we don't know yet. Therefore, he's a patsy.
Yes, and I know that this is a point of confliction in their debate. So hopefully you and I can get past what they couldn't clear up. So
can you explain? Yeah, just explain it to
me. Sure. If we look up the definition of patsy, which a lot of people I'm sure have probably never looked up the definition of what the word patsy means. If Tyler Robinson is being framed for something or being charged with something that we do not believe based on the evidence he did, by default, he is a patsy, by definition.
Yes, if he's being framed. So I understand that's the
so
claim.
If you're being charged for something that you did do based on the evidence, I get what you're getting to.
I mean, you could come out and say, hey, if he was being framed, the government would be so good that it wouldn't be possible for me to even provide you evidence. So checkmate, I win the debate. I don't buy that though. I'm sorry. It's like, don't debate then.
Okay, fair. You can have that opinion. Can we get into the evidence?
Okay, the problem is that when you have that opinion though, I've lost 300 subscribers for stating what I just said. And this has nothing to do with how I feel about Candace Owens or Andrew Wilson. I don't dislike Candace Owens. My concern is, what are we doing if by pointing that out, people are now claiming I'm bought and paid for? Who's the conspiracy theorist? Like, her whole argument is, hey, I should have the freedom to think, and I agree. You shouldn't be certain. As she claims, she's 100% certain, and there's 0% chance. Me, Andrew, saying 85%, I'm not sure, but this isn't adding up. It's like the people that seem to, it feels like attacking me, are the people who just are certain and they can't explain to me why.
If we get into the evidence, I think it's going to become increasingly clear. While most of us, are not convinced that Tyler Robinson did this.
I'm not convinced Tyler Robinson did this, though. That doesn't mean Candace didn't lose the debate. What does that have to do with?
Okay, so what was Andrew there to defend?
Their claim best.
What was Andrew Wilson there to debate? Like, what was his position?
That there's more evidence to indicate Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger. Way more evidence than to indicate he's a patsy.
And okay, so you believe that he presented evidence.
He presented far more evidence than Candace, who presented no evidence.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
I disagree.
Okay, what's an example of evidence that Candace Owens provided?
I'm telling you what that evidence is. What you're talking
Okay.
about is physical somethings that she provided. That's not the only definition of evidence. Evidence is pointing to what has been provided and why it should not be trusted and why it's not, what's the word, credible. That's evidence in itself.
So give me an example.
That's what I'm trying to get into. Like all of the
Okay.
pieces of evidence that you claim that Andrew Wilson, there is something wrong with just about every piece of the evidence.
So can we do it? Let's run through an example so I can see what you mean.
Sure. Like the images of Tyler or supposedly Tyler Robinson on campus. Do we have any confirmed images of Tyler Robinson?
I don't believe anything's confirmed yet. The trial hasn't started.
Right. So remember, the debate happened before the trial. Our
Right.
conversation right now is happening before the trial. So we're going based on what's been presented so far.
Right. But if you're going to claim that you're 100% sure he didn't pull the trigger, and I ask you why, you can't just say, hey, because that might not be him in the footage.
Fair. But what I'm stating is I'm not convinced. I don't want to be here
I'm
to
not convinced either. What does that have to do with anything?
So fair. So that we have an understanding. I'm not here to defend Candace's position. I'm here to defend.
I thought you were. I'm sorry. Go ahead then.
No, you're fine. But no, I'm not here to defend Candace's position. I'm here. If we want to discuss the debate in your video, then by all means, of course, I'd love to do that. I wanted to defend or have a conversation around the way in which you framed the quote unquote debate between the two of them.
Okay, what does that mean?
You're claiming that she didn't provide any evidence, and my position is, as if you're taking the position of the defense, your job is to present reasonable doubt.
If you're taking the position of I'm not taking the position of the state or the defense. I'm looking at the data just like you are and stating what I believe is the most rational assessment. That is my claim. You're presenting what you believe is the most rational assessment based on the data. That's your claim. We both defend our claims. Explain why.
For sure. When I said you,
logic to do that.
I agree, and I'm very logical, so I can appreciate that. When I said you, I didn't mean Warren. I meant Andrew, because that's the person that debated Candace.
Okay, but they negotiate. Hang on, I'm sorry, but okay, I thought you meant in our debate, which that's what would be the case.
No.
In their case, they had to negotiate ahead of time because there's all this money and stipulations and restrictions. They had very specific language negotiated. So we know what those claims are, hands down.
Right. What I'm stating is that Andrew Wilson took the position of the state. He said it himself at the very beginning.
Okay.
So that means he has to provide.
Okay, I get what you.
Yeah, he's taking the position of the state. That is to say, quote unquote, prosecuting Tyler Robinson.
He believes Tyler Robinson.
Correct.
That is the most plausible scenario based on the evidence.
Right. And my understanding, because I don't want to speak for Candace, since we're talking about the debate at this particular juncture of the video, my understanding from Candace's point of view is that based on what's been provided, she does not believe that Tyler Robinson did this. She believes that he is a patsy.
I got that. Yeah.
Okay.
Was there a question about that?
No, it's just, I don't know if this is about semantics or if we're just talking past each other on this point. Yeah.
Delve into it, man. Like, what do you mean?
I'm wanting to get into the evidence, right? So I think once we actually delve into the evidence, which I don't think they did a great enough job in the debate of doing.
I agree, man. I mean, there's a lot of room a lot of ground I would have liked them to cover.
Sure.
But I understand there were other things Andrew wanted to get to as well. But so when I'm analyzing this in my video, I'm only focusing on the portion that was around the two claims, which is really that first, we'll call it third, before they move on and kind of he cross-exams, she cross-exams, and that went into other just topics and that are related to it. But that they got away from the claims. So, anyways, let's
Sure. I
proceed.
would like to ask you a question though. So when you say Candace provided 0% evidence, can you give me an example of what would have been quote unquote evidence?
Yeah, so surveillance footage, a confession, DNA, finding a gun. Those would be examples of evidence.
Wait, hold up. But all those things are not clear in itself, right?
What do you mean those
So
things are not clear in itself?
what you're calling evidence, there is. So, for example, I just asked you, what would you have considered evidence that Candace could have sort of presented?
Yeah, so for example, evidence indicating Tyler Robinson was at a different location.
Which
Um,
exists.
okay, well, you can present that. So,
So the whole smokehouse restaurant ordeal. Are you familiar with that?
uh-huh. Yeah, from our conversation. Treat this as though I know nothing, and I'm going from the debate. I'm gaining my information from what because I'm not super. I haven't been following this super extensively. I was just trying to give my analysis of the debate. From the debate, my understanding is there's a question over whether, based on the receipt, that information is verified.
Sure.
But yeah, you can explain it more.
So I took some notes, and I'm gonna just go down the timeline for this situation. So at 8:55 p.m., they claimed that Tyler Robinson ordered a dinner at a restaurant called Cowboys Smokehouse. Now at 9:57 p.m., he pays his bill, and then he leaves the restaurant. It's a 3-hour drive, 2 hours, 57 minutes to be exact, from UVU, and that's the shortest route possible. The alleged text that they claim was sent between Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs begins at 11 p.m. Now, it's important to state that the first text message that was at 11 p.m., according to the charging documents, was a scheduled text, which means it's going to get sent out regardless of the physical location of Tyler Robinson, obviously. So, but they state that Robinson was allegedly stopped by a patrolman in Utah, Orem to be exact, at 12:30 a.m. So Robinson's presence in Panguitch, which is where the restaurant was, makes it impossible for him to have sent a real-time update text message at 11 p.m. and be stopped by police at 12:30 a.m. Now, it's
Can you
important to
just
also state that.
simplify that for me so I can understand why
Sure.
his physical location
Because
would prevent the
sure.
yeah.
So it was a scheduled message that went out at 11 p.m., but my understanding was that he continued to text after that. The problem is he was 3 hours away, and there are witnesses that say that they saw him at this restaurant, and there is a supposed receipt that needs to be verified. I will state that the receipt needs to be verified with the last 4 numbers of the card. But
Uh-huh.
there is a witness. There are 2 witnesses that state that they saw Tyler Robinson at this restaurant, which is by definition, according to Andrew Wilson, positive evidence. The issue is it's a 3-hour drive. The police testified that they stopped him, Tyler Robinson, at 12:30 a.m. That therefore he can't be at 2 places at once. Does that make sense?
Okay, so the claim is if these two people did see him, then the police are lying.
Somebody's lying. He was
Okay,
one
and
of the
who are
other
these?
places.
Where did this come from?
The smokehouse interview.
Where did this information come from? Like,
Sure. So I don't know where its original source came from, but the employee at the restaurant has been interviewed on camera by, I believe his name is Diligent Denizen on Twitter. Interviewed the customer in the restaurant with their gear on, and they stated that they saw Tyler Robinson, and they were not the person that served Tyler Robinson. He was at the bar. He ordered the steak.
when you say with their gear on,
I'm
what does
sorry,
that mean?
with their work shirt, with their employee.
Okay, so that's in. So what does that indicate to you when they're wearing? I'm sorry, I was being sarcastic. So, okay, okay. So who? Diligent
Di-
denizen
correct.
conducted an investigation, interviewed person with the work shirt. They said
Oh
we
my
saw
God.
him,
A
and
person with
that's
the
what
work shirt?
someone who works there, right?
Correct. An employee.
And, okay, and no one else has followed. No news outlets have looked into this, and no, the defense hasn't. Is there any indication anyone else has looked into this?
Great question. As of right now, I don't know what the defense, because we've only had the preliminary hearing. I don't know if it's going to be presented during the trial, but
Okay,
it's a confirmed video. I can send it to you if you want me to.
cool.
And this person confirmed that they saw Tyler Robinson. And it's two witnesses that claim that they saw Tyler Robinson. So
Interesting.
something's wrong here.
There could be, man. I mean, there is potential there.
Well, there is no could be. If he can't be in both. It's 3 hours apart. So
if this
clearly
is
something's
true,
wrong.
if this, so why did Candace not? That's really important. It seems that's like would be the best piece of evidence. So why not confirm that? Why go into that debate without this being confirmed?
Well, hold on. They did discuss this.
In the debate, they discussed this. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And my understanding was that it wasn't confirmed.
Well, I think they were talking about the receipt itself. If the receipt was confirmed. The witnesses themselves are not in question. It's the receipt itself that is waiting to be confirmed, from my understanding.
Yeah, because the predicament we're going to run up to is how do we know this is not just two people making this up? Obviously, that's the question. So there has to be some.
But then I agree with you, Warren, but you're going to have to be consistent and say that about the entire preliminary hearing.
I agree. Yeah,
well, that makes it not evidence then. Would you agree? If it's up in question?
That makes what not?
All the things that were most of the things mentioned during the preliminary hearing. Because it was hearsay.
Everything needs to be verified. So everything is hearsay. So, okay. What is hearsay? Can you explain it to me?
Well, hold on. I didn't say everything. Let's be clear with our language. Majority of the things in the preliminary hearing was considered hearsay. Hearsay as in Tom is not present.
Okay.
So I'm going to speak on behalf of Tom.
All right. So the message sent to his boyfriend saying, hey, you're going to see me on the security footage. Is that hearsay?
The message?
When he says when he's talking to his boyfriend, his lover or whatever, and he's like, you're going to see me on the security footage. Remember that came up in the debate?
Yeah, I'm familiar with what I'm trying to think about if I want to call that hearsay. I mean, I guess not really, though, because we have a picture of the phone. Here's the issue with that. Let's talk about that evidence. So, number one, we don't even have the device itself. That's a problem. Not to mention that the defense was not allowed to look at these things prior to the preliminary hearing. The
Can I ask you
itself.
What do you mean we don't have the device, therefore it's a problem? Like, who's we?
My understanding is that in the evidence itself, whoever has it, the state, my understanding is that they do not have the physical phone. Instead, they have what they call, Celebrate. They went through that process of extracting the messages, and then they took a picture of Lance Twiggs's phone.
Where are you getting this from?
The charging documents.
So you don't think that anyone has the actual phone of Tyler Robinson? You don't think
the charging documents has not made that clear. In fact, what was shown during the preliminary hearing was a photo of Lance Twiggs's phone, which, by the way, the screen was cracked conveniently in the place where you can see the timing displayed on the phone. So therefore, we can't even see the timing displayed on the phone.
What do you mean by timing?
Whatever time it was that this picture was supposedly taken.
Okay. So when I hear that, I'm going to take a guess that the state has the phone secured. The screen happened to be cracked. And for whatever reason, that's the information that was in that specific document. I'm not sure how you look at the same information you just gave me and jump to, it's problematic that we don't have the phone, and we can't take that as evidence without we having the phone. Like,
this condescending way of you saying we I'm clocking what you're doing, bro.
It's good. I'm just trying to spice it up, man. Like, speed things up. It's not personal.
No, fair. No, I understand. So we don't have no. The point is just that, from my understanding, what we as the public, what's been provided to us by way of the preliminary hearing, as far as like what we know to be currently in
Right.
evidence, my understanding is that we do not have the physical phone.
Okay.
My
So
understanding is that they took a picture of the phone.
what would that look like for us to adequately have the physical phone for you to be happy with this example of this evidence?
Well, wait, what do you mean by that?
So when you say it's problematic because we don't have the physical phone at this stage, what would it look like in a scenario where you would be happy?
Well, like if I don't know, like so in the preliminary hearing itself, if they displayed the phone and went through the text messages in the court.
In the preliminary hearing? Okay.
And maybe you're right, there's probably not standard procedure in the preliminary hearing, but the point is, had that taken place, being that it hasn't taken place as of yet, all we know based on the charging document is that the phone, a picture of the phone and extrapolated text messages is what, based on what they've told us,
Uh-huh.
right? That's what we've been.
I
And I
got
have to
you.
say this for the record, outside of the fact that the text messages themselves are extremely strange. Would you agree with that? I
It's
understand. I'm not saying strange text
hey, it's
messages means
strange to shoot someone. So I wouldn't surprise me if this is a strange guy, but I get your point. Yeah, the language is strange. There's a lot of strange things about this. Would you
okay.
agree? It is if you shoot
Yeah,
someone, you're
I agree,
would it
but
be
that
surprising if there's things about you that are very strange? Dating someone, a furry, is strange.
I agree. I
So
agree.
speaking in old English, when you write love letters,
So we're expected to believe, Warren, and I'm curious to hear what you'll say to this, because
uh-huh.
for somebody that's so not so convinced, Tyler, you seem to have every reasonable explanation as of some pushback to how it's possible that he didn't do it. So we're
I'm just
expected
trying
to
to think
believe
rationally about these things, and not jump to not jump to a conclusion. But I'm giving you my honest, rational assessment, not based on defending Andrew Wilson or I'm taking this side. This is not
fair.
about sides. It's about rationality. Go ahead.
So all right, fair. So it's very interesting that we're expected to believe that a gentleman with a 4.0, or I think higher than a 4.0 GPA,
My
supposedly pulled
GPA
this
is not
off.
4.0.
And then say it again.
My GPA was not 4.0. I'm sorry.
Yours?
No, I thought you were nothing. Never mind. I was making a joke. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. No, Tyler Robinson's
I got
4,
you. Yeah.
4.0 GPA or higher, extremely brilliant guy, was trying to get away, but, but kind of wanted to get caught. But he's going to send text messages extremely detailed of every single thing that he supposedly did. Every response from what's his name, Lance Twigs, is very short and sweet. But every other
I
reply
got you.
from it's that's extremely
I
strange
got
that
you.
we're
Yeah, that's
expected to
strange.
believe he did that.
Yeah, I find it stranger and more difficult to believe that if a government, if Israel or whatever government wanted to assassinate a Charlie Kirk, let's say Mossad is going to assassinate Charlie Kirk, some an organization that is known for being able to kill people very efficiently and make it look like suicide and cut their brakes, that they would do so in the most public assassination in history or recent history, like where there's, or it's a state plan, or if they were to, and if they get caught, it would the ramifications for the geopolitical relationship between their nation and the rest of the world would be affected. Their country, the ramifications would be difficult to even articulate. But
Warren,
they're not going to make it look like a car accident.
fair.
Instead, they're going to do this. I find that stranger than what you just described.
I understand. Hey, Warren, name one person in this debate right now, this conversation, whoever stated that that's the alternative. I've never said that.
So okay? Can you explain the theory that he's a patsy? What do you think is the larger theory behind that?
I
Do you
don't
have
know.
one?
I don't know.
Okay, but you
What I
haven't
care
have you
about is
thought
the
that
actual
through?
case.
Like if he's a patsy, and all of this is if the police are lying and that receipt is real,
But see, you're
the
doing the thing
power
again.
structure that would require that, you haven't thought about that and what that would mean?
Sure. I've thought about it
So
a lot.
then why, if the power structure is that large, why would they do this? to
I've
take
thought
out
about all
Charlie?
of that.
Okay, so then can you lay it out for me?
Well, yeah, I can lay out what I think, but I want to talk about
Okay.
the actual case, bro. I want to talk about the actual evidence. Trying to get somebody on a theory that we
Well,
think
we were
may
just
have
talking about what
happened.
was
Why?
strange. You were
But
just
why is that?
pointing out things that are strange.
Yeah, like the evidence, like the pictures of his car. We don't even have
Okay.
clear footage of his car. Would you agree with that as well?
Cle- Um, I'm not. I don't think so. No, I don't know though.
See, you've conceded just about every point
I've
to these
cons-
pieces of evidence, how they're all not really pieces of evidence. They're all suspect, bro.
Okay. Hey, all right.
I'm
Let's run
hanging
through
on.
this. So, okay. So the confession where he says, let's go back to that example where he says, "Hey, my lover, you'll see me on the footage because I was walking around." Now, I'm conceding that. How?
Well, I'm talking about specifically the point that we don't have the device based on what we have from the preliminary hearing, the information we have from the preliminary hearing. It doesn't appear that we have the device itself. We have a
Okay. So,
picture of a
so I'm
phone
not
of some
conceding
message.
it. You're saying if they don't,
I see
you're
what you're
not
saying.
have
Fair enough. Fair enough.
unless they present to you, unless they present the physical phone at the preliminary hearing, we don't have evidence.
Okay, fair enough. You didn't concede that point about the text messages, but would you agree that every image of Tyler Robinson is not very clear or been made clear or confirmed that it's
Yeah, I
Tyler
mean the
Robinson?
video footage I've seen, you, I would, yeah, it's a little pixelated.
No, it's a lot of pixelated,
It's very
including the image
pixelated.
of him in the parking garage. Would you agree with that as well?
Yeah.
So okay, so let's make sure we have everything so far. So you don't concede to the text messages. I understand that's fair. So we got grainy images of Tyler in the garage, supposedly Tyler Robinson in the garage. And the new photos that's come out, I actually would like to share this photo. I'd like to get your thoughts about this image here.
Oh,
So
that the one that looks like it does look like someone else, and that why didn't Candace bring up that in the debate? Because that
you
was the thing.
Warren, you and I are on the same side, bro. We'll be best of buds.
Yeah, that there's got to be a reason. My guess is that this was bogus or something. She got some new information and realized I can't run with that in the biggest debate of the year, so she
Well,
didn't.
well, I thought I believe was this shared after the fact? It was after the
This
debate.
was before the debate because I remember seeing
Right.
that. And I was like, "Whoa, that looks like a different guy." And then she didn't bring it up in the debate, and I'm like, "What
No,
is
that's a
going on?"
very good point. But also, there was a couple of things she didn't bring up. I believe it's just because of the
Yeah.
direction. I'm gonna just be completely honest. I think it's the way Andrew, the direction that Andrew took the debate. There was a lot of things she didn't talk about.
That's
Like
true.
so, like here's a photo here. So the photo on the left was what was shown in the preliminary hearing. Look at those cars, and no, this is not AI. I can confirm this at a later time. I promise. Just take my word for it for now. Fact check me later. The first image on the left is the image that was shown in court. Is a still shot from the supposed video. On the right is what Candace shared, which looks a lot more reasonable, anyways, because of the spacing between the vehicles. The one on the left does not. So here we have these two images that give us good reason to believe, or I should say, lack of reason to believe, that they have proof that Tyler Robinson or that these people are Tyler Robinson. Also, his car. So the one on the left, my understanding was when I think a day after Tyler Robinson was arrested. So I believe this was like September the 11th or September the 12th. And this is a photo. On the right, these are different exhaust pipes. But on
Yeah.
the right is the car that they claim belongs to Tyler Robinson in the parking garage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know I saw this at some point on Candace's show, and I don't have an answer yet. I'm guessing eventually we'll get more answers, but again,
But there's
none of
different
this was brought up in the debate, and I was just analyzing the moves that occurred in that debate and trying to explain why I said what I said, and I don't understand why people are so upset by that. I'm not saying I'm sure there are interesting things about this man, and I don't know that. I just said
I
that photo. Seems like a really compelling thing. I don't know why she didn't bring it up. She should have led with that. Like
I agree with
if
you,
it's
but I
real.
think I can't get in that person's head. I'm not even going to attempt to. You and I will be the best of buds if you start coming from that angle. I don't know why certain things were not mentioned at times. My guess would be the angle and the direction Andrew was taking it. And also, if I wanted to put myself into Candace's shoes, maybe Candace was trying to be just super careful with what she mentioned for certain reasons. I don't know, but I'm not Candace. I'm
Okay,
not
can we
trying to.
follow that a little bit? Because I was kind of disappointed by her performance in it. Because when she said 0%, I thought, oh man, she must have something to support that. Nothing. Then when he confronts her on Erica Kirk, who I think there's legitimate points to be made, strange behavior, the video by the coffin, the fireworks, all those things. I was thinking, go, Candace, go. And then Andrew confronts her, and suddenly she didn't say anything. It was like what happened,
Well,
Candace?
no,
I felt let down.
this is very important. When you say she didn't say anything, first and foremost, can you please establish what exactly did Andrew bring up about Erica Kirk?
He asked her, do you think Turning Point or Erica Kirk were at all complicit?
Right.
And suddenly she's not. What happened, Candace? Like,
Candace has never said that, Warren.
when I thought, well, you're right, man. I guess
let's
you're
make
right,
the distinction here. This distinction is extremely important.
I really thought
and
though that was her point.
No,
she had me convinced.
No, this is very important because many will say, well, that's the same thing. No, it's not. And Warren, you're extremely intelligent, so you I know will be able to make the distinction here. Andrew Wilson asked Candace Owens, do you believe that Erica Kirk TP, which, by the way, asking that question the way that he did was very suspect, but fine, he can ask it. Do you believe that Erica Kirk, why? Because it appeared to me that he was trying to get her caught up in the defamation lawsuit. If you state
why would you pay $300,000 to sit down with Candace Owens and not ask?
I think that's a perfect reason why you would do it, actually.
Right. So, anyways, okay. It's just it's expected. She knew it was coming. Everyone knew it was coming.
I agree. So,
and I was disappointed. She didn't stand behind what I thought. I've been told.
I wasn't. I was not disappointed at all. In
fact, you don't think Erica Kirk was complicit?
But hold on. Let's get to it, man.
Okay.
The question that he asked her was, do you believe that Erica Kirk, TPUSA, or any of its affiliates were complicit in the unaliving of Charlie Kirk? Is that fair?
Right.
Candace's response was, for legal reasons, I don't know. That's what she should have said. What Candace has stated on her show, and they played a clip, was that she believes that they are complicit in a cover-up. So whatever may have happened to Charlie, she believes that they are involved in covering up what happened.
Oh, shit, dude. All right.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
No. So, but isn't that kind of like...
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same?
Because look, if I witness Warren get punched in the face, God forbid, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't tell the person to do it, but I'm going to help that person get away because she's a pretty girl and I would like to get her number.
So why do you think they're doing it? Why do you think they're covering it up?
Candace Owens said those words.
She said what? What words?
Well, you said, why do they think they're covering it up, correct?
No, I'm asking you, why do you think if they're, so Candace said they're complicit in covering it up, not correct. The murder. So why are they covering it up if they didn't have anything to do with the murder?
Oh, you're asking me to speculate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, why would they? Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I just said to you, Candace Owens is the one that said those words. There's a lot of theories that I could throw out there, but I'm going to be careful with my language as well.
Okay. I got you.
I do want to be clear here because I just met you, man. I don't know if you be. Go ahead.
I just felt like she backpedaled a little bit, and I thought it was a little bit weak.
But like even on that point, I thought you just.
I understand. There's people trying to trap her by asking her.
She's never said that they were complicit in unaliving Charlie, though, bro. Ever.
I know, but there was
that's
kind
important.
Of that. You're right. No, she's not that stupid. She's smart, but.
So you're saying even though she's never stated that because she's very intelligent with her language and careful with her language, you're saying even though she's never stated it,
you've surely when you're watching Candace's show, there's been times you're like, oh, that bitch is crazy, dude. She had something to do with this, like but she's not stupid enough to say it. But
right. So my question to you though, Warren, is so you just conceded the point that Candace has never said it and she's careful not to say it, and even though she's never said it, when asked about it directly, she should not only say something that can get herself in a legal pickle,
No, she played
but
it
she
well.
should
You're
also
right.
say something that she's never said before.
No, you're right. You're right. No, I thought she played it well. I was just
You just
uh,
criticized her for it.
well, it just felt weak. It just felt weak because she's been kind of insane. I get your point. Okay, but I think she could have gone harder on Turning Point after all the shows. After all she said.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
There you go.
But you and I will agree that there was so much more that Candace could have said, but they spoke for like what 3.5 hours, and there were certain things because she was mostly the one getting grilled. Andrew
Yeah.
Wilson, like I said, we'll get into the evidence. So just so the audience is keeping track, the images of Tyler Robinson supposedly all of Granny. There's no proof that that's Tyler Robinson, and if it's proof, that I'll concede to that. There's no proof. Warren agrees. Same thing with this car. Warren did say he hasn't looked into that very much. I have.
Well, I'm not saying. I mean, we don't. There's evidence. I don't know if because the evidence hasn't gone to trial yet. So, I mean, you're right. It could all be the state.
Fair.
It could and the police could be lying. But I mean, there is a confession. Like he does confess to it. His parents. I mean, let's think about this though, because they would have to. I don't know what they have on him to get his parents to go along with this. Like, do you think?
But I do have a question because again, this isn't really a debate between you and I. This is really a conversation, and we're just going to disagree at times. I know you made that clear before we got on, but here's the thing: the parent angle. So, according to the charging documents, from my understanding, it is being stated by the police that the mother stated that looks like Tyler Robinson. The mother does state this, and to my understanding, the father says that they said the father may have agreed or something.
Yeah, and then he confronted him. Is my understanding is that he called him. He's like, "Get your ass home!" Like you've got, and he confronted him.
And what we're saying as of right now, it may change with the trial. As of right now, based on what we've seen, that's all we have are typed words in a charging document. The reason why I'm stating it like that, Warren, is because it is. This is important. Tyler Robinson supposedly turned himself in. Well, would you look at that? The footage doesn't exist anymore. They say that the footage disappeared. What?
The footage of him turning himself in?
Of him turning himself in, walking into the police station. At one point, they said it existed, and then they said it didn't exist anymore. And as of right now, that footage doesn't exist. That's strange.
How do you? Damn, I didn't know that. How do you know that?
It gets worse. It gets worse though. So what do you think? I'm just curious your thoughts. So the officer Bagley, I believe is his name, says that what was it? Less than 20 minutes into the investigation, he gets onto the rooftop of the Losey Center, and his body cam footage conveniently cuts off. These are body cams that's that's designed to go for hours. His conveniently turns off right before he finds the screwdriver.
No, I got you. That's strange, but I want to go back to Turning Point.
Yep.
So what do you think is behind? What do you think their plan is?
I don't know.
So, because it's got to be bigger than Turning Point if they've got police cutting off their body cams and deleting footage and coercing the parents. So that would mean government. Now, do you think Tyler Robinson is going to take the fall as a patsy? Like, is he going to give like a fake confession and actually go to prison?
Here's the thing, Warren. I just met you, bro. And so that's my ballpark, speaking about things like that. I speak about, don't know if you skimmed the channel or not, but I speak about patsies and psyops over the years, not just with Charlie Kirk. You're free to believe it with this, whatever you want. But I've spoken, I have a Martin Luther King documentary on the channel, like an official documentary, where I speak about the entire civil rights movement and what I really believe the true purpose of it was. So this is what I do. Don't take this the wrong way. Please don't be offended.
Okay.
It's just,
no, go for it.
I don't know if you have agendas behind your questioning. And
okay.
I got to be careful with, we're talking about, multi-million-dollar 501c3s. And I can speculate and I can say everything's alleged. I can say all the careful framings.
Uh-huh.
In our first conversation, I'm not comfortable with going down that the theories. But if we ever spoke again and we grew a rapport behind the scenes, I'd be more than comfortable to talk about that with you, even on camera.
Because like there might be someone I'm working for.
Right.
Okay. No, that
But I
makes
would like to
sense.
talk about the evidence.
Okay. Let's do it.
So, what have we not talked about? Uh, okay. So, have you seen? Let me put that on the screen. So, the image. I'm going to show you the image of this supposed evidence of Lance Twiggs text message. I don't know if you've seen it. Okay, that's not it. Do you see it now?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you see where the screen is cracked
I
conveniently, where
do.
we can't see the time and all of that?
Yeah.
That's what many of us find very strange. The reason why this is important is because we're looking at time. We're making timelines of everything that they said happened when they
Mm.
took pictures, all the ordeals, and we want to know if they're telling the truth or not. Like if they're telling the truth, then fine. But here's another convenient thing that just so happened to take place. We can't see the time that the photo was taken. So here's the controversy. I typed this out of my notes as well. So they claim that Charlie was pow at 12:23. At 4:33, the photograph that we're looking at appears to show a text exchange between Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson. And this is important because investigators later testified that the Celebrite, that's what it's called, Celebrite extraction, identified the first Robinson to Twiggs text on September the 10th at 11 p.m. So that's when it supposedly took place. It identifies Robinson's first text to Twiggs as the scheduled message. At 6:25 p.m., a defense filing reportedly identifies a video in which officer reads Robinson his Miranda rights. Robinson then says he wants an attorney and wants to remain silent. At 7:57 p.m., a little bit over an hour later, Discord messages have been attributed to Robinson. This is where the Miranda controversy becomes interesting. Don't know if you've heard this. I believe Baron Coben was the first to bring this to light. Have you heard this yet?
No.
So the supposed, and this has been confirmed, by the way. I am confident in stating this part. The text messages that Tyler Robinson supposedly sent in the Discord messages, they were sent after it's been officially reported in the charging documents after Tyler Robinson was already Mirandized, Warren. It's impossible he sent those messages, bro.
Can you summarize that for me? And why is
Sure,
that again?
sure. So I probably made that a little bit long-winded and
That's all right.
convoluted.
I'm just not that smart. Yeah.
In short, Tyler Robinson sent Discord messages supposedly. Those messages were sent from some device, which is part of the reason why I was mentioning the phone. It's important that we have the physical phone because it's important we can, I don't know if it's metadata or whatever, we can see where the messages were sent from. Because as we know, you can send messages from multiple devices and they still show up on your device. You can have two iPhones under the same account. You can have an iPad on the other side of town in another state. Send a message and it still shows up in your phone in your text messages. The messages that were sent in Discord were sent after Tyler Robinson was Mirandized. This is also important because they reportedly took his phone from him. So who sent these messages?
How do you know this again?
It's all in the charging documents, the timing of everything.
So it says in the charging document that he sent a message after he was arrested?
Well, let me make sure we get on the same page here. Okay. It does not say the language Tyler Robinson sent messages afterwards. What it says is Discord messages were sent from Tyler Robinson, supposedly once again, explicitly stating in weird detail all the things that he did, almost too revealing, using language that normal people wouldn't use. And let's be clear about something. Just because you do something unusual, like pow person, does not mean all of a sudden you also text like you from the late 1700s, because that's two different types of unusual.
Yeah.
The timing of the Discord messages in the charging document contradicts the timing that he was already Mirandized.
Oh, so it's not a message that was sent. It's just in the charging document. It says he was.
It states that he was sending Discord messages at X time. I believe it was 6:25 or something. Tyler was already Mirandized by then.
Okay, so in the document it says he was Mirandized at this time, but how do you know he sent that message though at the other time?
That's also in the charging document. Have you read the charging document?
Not at this level. No, I haven't. I
Yes.
just going off the debate.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, there's
Okay.
deep dives on all of that, bro.
All right.
Tyler, sorry. Warren, this is not even half of it, bro. There's a lot of things that aren't just feels and
Okay.
vibes. And I know you haven't accused me of that. There's some other weird things. So let's get to this. Ooh, I do want to clarify something. You had some pushback to Candace's DNA statement. So there were multiple sets of DNA found on the gun.
Yeah.
Candace stated that there are experts have stated that 20 years, 20, 40 years from now.
Right. And I don't know anything about that. I was just making that logical chain based on what she said. I was like, wait a minute.
So
If you said 20, 40 years, sometimes the DNA won't fade at all. It seems to me that logically, then that wouldn't be a reliable test over time. So we can't judge who touched last or time at all.
That's fair. But I don't think you're understanding the point that she's making. I understand why you said that, and to be completely fair with you, when I reacted to your video, I said to myself, that's actually a fair point. But I actually thought more about it. And I don't think you're understanding what she's saying. So I'm going to state it this way, and I'm going to see if you understand.
All right.
Nobody is saying that DNA can't, still be on the gun 20 years later. Like, we know that. Obviously it can. The point is that Tyler Robinson's DNA is the most degraded on the gun, right? So the point is that if Tyler's DNA was supposedly left on the gun when he just used it to pow Charlie, then why is his DNA supposedly the most degraded compared to the other DNA on the gun? Saying, quote, there could still be DNA on the gun 20 years from now doesn't really answer that, right? Because that just means that DNA can stick around for a long time.
But when we say it's the most degraded, aren't we making a value judgment of time? Like, we're assuming that the last person who touched it would have the least degraded, but we can't measure time.
Yeah, but the point is, I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't explain why Tyler's is the most degraded. So in other words, if we are expected to believe that he just touched it, why is it the least degraded from everybody else's? It has nothing to do with if it can last longer. The point is, why is it the least present on the gun if he touched it the most recent?
I got you. Yeah, no, it sounds strange. And I don't know about DNA. I was just going off of what Candace said herself. What I've heard from opposition is that there are other explanations, and that's not necessarily evidence. And I don't know enough about it to really go beyond that.
Right. Not to mention
not necessarily evidence.
Right. Not to mention that it was also testified by an FBI analyst during the preliminary hearing that finding somebody's DNA on something doesn't even mean that they've touched it before. Even though I'm not arguing that here, we can believe that the gun was owned by Tyler. But it's important to put that out there too.
Yeah. That's why.
Let's talk about the footage of him on the roof.
Okay.
This is where so many things are wrong. Would you like to talk about that evidence?
Yeah.
Number one, can we both agree that there's no proof that that's Tyler Robinson?
I can't tell from the video. If you were to show me that video, it'd say, is this enough to ID any of these 10 people in a lineup? I wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup.
I agree. Can we also agree that it's extremely strange that he was doing a lateral crawl like an experienced military? Have you seen that?
Dude, the lateral crawl though, but to be honest, I struggle with this one because I've done that same movement myself.
Explain.
Well, so
do you have military background?
No, but I hunt. When I was a kid, we played paintball, stuff like that. I used to do ninjutsu, and we would like sneak up on each other and do stealth, and you're holding sticks often. And whenever you're holding something, I would find myself just naturally, when you're trying to hold something in your hand and stay low, your body inadvertently does that motion. So there's that. I'm not familiar with the advanced military technique of it though, but it looks the same to me.
Are you okay with me sharing the video?
Yeah.
Let's watch this together. and we can assess what we make of this. This is the 4K footage they claimed in court.
Yeah, dude, it looked just like that when I was playing paintball. That's why I struggle with this, because me,
And
when
I
I was in
actually
my
do want to
ninja,
show you
sorry, I'll shut
side
up.
by side, so you can actually see a real military man do that alongside this person on the rooftop. Let's bring in that side by side clip. Here we go.
Damn, look at that. It's very
That
similar,
general
but
action right there is no.
when I was
Tyler
just in my,
Robinson was not doing that, bro. I refuse to believe it. But
it's
me,
too
my
advanced.
opinion is
It's
not
too
enough.
advanced, right?
As a lateral crawl.
I mean, that does take a lot of
There,
practice.
and we're running that back and forth there.
But just keep listening to this part.
All right.
Okay. There we go. Something forward. And we can watch that again. Something forward. Again. But more importantly, then look. There you go. That's that unfolding again.
What do you think the black thing is?
Great question, Warren. I don't
have
think
a
it's a
theory.
gun. Did you see how it fell out like that? I don't know a gun that can do that.
Oh, like
It came out almost like a cane stick that I forget what they're called when we were kids. It's the little stick that has a string in the middle of it.
yeah,
You can like attach it or whatever.
yeah. I'll be honest. I think it's like a bag or a wrapping. Would be
Agreed.
my guess is that he was trying to minimize DNA, had it down his pants, goes to take out, takes like the covering off. I have one for like my shotgun. It's just a little fabric slide, throws it down. That would be my guess though. But I get why you would think it was.
It gets worse though. Like I said, it gets so much worse. Do you remember what Governor Cox said about what Tyler Robinson supposedly did when he was on the roof?
No, what did
He
say?
claimed that Tyler Robinson changed clothes on the roof. First of all, they claimed that he changed clothes like 4 or 5 times. One of the times was on the roof, and I'm gonna play that to corroborate my claim here.
Different clothing.
Watch this. And we now know from footage this is a flat out lie.
Yes, yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when
was this recorded?
The clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here.
This was recorded, I believe, on September the 11th.
Okay, so it was like the day after.
It was like the day after.
I gotcha. Now he might be in on it, and he's just covering it up right there. Though he might just not be fully.
I really
informed
can't tell. Are you being
day
sarcastic,
after.
bro?
I mean, that's not really. No, I mean there are things here I struggle with. Like that one, I'll be honest. I think he's probably. It's like the day after. He probably doesn't know. He probably is just ignorant about it.
I see. Okay, that's fair.
The lateral crawl,
I'll concede that that's possible.
Yeah, the lateral crawl though. I don't know that I don't. That one does kind of get me.
Had you never seen that until now?
I mean, no. It's. I mean, I've seen it. I saw it on Candace. But no, it's just so advanced. Because of like training, where's he going to get that from?
Let's
very specific.
Let's talk about this image here. Have you seen the video footages of this person walking down the stairs? Like, have you seen the videos?
I don't remember.
So
I've
remember,
yeah.
The evidence is contingent upon this person that we see right here having a rifle stuck down their pants. Number one, it doesn't appear that they have a rifle anywhere in their pants, but you say, well, maybe it's a bit subtle. You can't always tell depending on the size of the rifle. Okay, fine, whatever. The next problem is that when he's walking down the stairs, he's forgetting which leg to limp with, Warren. He limps with his left leg as if to say that's the leg that the rifle is stuffed down. Then he's walking normal with that leg and then limping with the other. And it you never see no type of bulges, no type of rifles, no nothing in his pants. Somebody's going to have to account for that. Why is he limping with different legs?
Is it possible he put it down his other leg?
Well, I'm saying he's limping in the same video with different legs, like different strides. He's changing legs that he's limping with.
Can you play it?
Sure, let me find it. I was just thinking, like, if you hadn't seen it, I'd love to show that to you. Let's see.
Though I'll be honest, man, I would be cautious though, because there's some strange stuff. Just be careful with this, man, because it's easy to get
like caught up in AI footage or something.
That too. Maybe, I don't know. Just be careful is all I'm saying.
But what do you mean by that, though?
You just don't want to get. You want to keep a view on. You don't want to get caught up in this world too much, where it's like that's all you see, because you start viewing things through a narrative. You might miss. There might be things that are plausible and explainable.
Okay, that's fair. I see what you're saying. If I get too much into this, then I'll
start.
Yeah,
and I think that's why the response to my video on the debate with Candace was so harsh, because it's like it's gone beyond just disagreement, and it's more like I'm questioning.
But there's good reason to here, Warren. There's none about this makes sense, bro. Here's the video. So watch his legs change. He's bending both legs, and then he's limping again. Now he's bending both legs. Look at that. There's no rifle.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
All right. Can you just play it again?
Sure.
The images that we have from my viewing and seeing that.
It looks like something's in his right leg to me.
What? Let me look again.
And the images that we have.
Right leg. Okay, that's closest to the wall.
Yeah.
He's bending right there.
Yeah, you can still bend it. You can see it right there. It looks like that looks to me like just above his knee. That
You're
looks
talking
like
about, yeah, I see something there.
Yep, it looks like a.
But how are you able to bend your leg fully like that?
Because it only extends to his knees. Is what I'm guessing, and I'm guessing it's poked up here. So, like, if I were to put a rifle down there, I would have my kneecap to up here. So when people appendix carry pistols, the pistol's poking up to your belly button. That rifle can be way up here under your shirt. I'm guessing that's what's going on there. That's why he's able to bend at his knee. Watch his shirt. Yeah. I think that's what we're saying.
All right, I'll agree that may be possible. I still find it strange that he's easily bending it. But to your point, I guess he could have it up higher. But wouldn't that mean that another half of the rifle would have to be somewhere else, correct? Or are you saying the entire rifle?
I don't know enough about this topic, this portion of it, honestly, because I don't understand why you would have. If I was going to shoot someone, I would put the gun together first, and I would bring a gun that I could conceal like that, like what we just looked at.
Agreed.
Now, I mean, so I don't know where the claim is coming from. Like he assembled it and then disassembled it. Like, why would you do? So
and I don't know where he did all of that, and then he left the screwdriver on the roof, and then they say he reassembled it in the woods. That doesn't make sense.
My guess, is you would bring a screwdriver potentially to be able to change your scope if you needed to, but you would probably have all that zeroed in ahead of time. I don't know.
I agree, but that's not what I'm stating. I'm stating my understanding is that they're claiming that he got onto the roof, assembled the weapon because it was broken apart in his pants. He assembled it in record timing, by the way. He did this in like really, really short timing. Like experts have come out and said it's impossible to assemble a rifle in the timing that they claiming that they did. Have you seen those videos?
I've heard people make that claim. How do we know? I guess we would have the timestamp of him walking.
Yeah, they've done that. They've done all of it.
How do we know he assembled it though?
Great question. That's the question that I'm asking. I don't believe that he did. Like the amount of time that we've seen,
unless I see something. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Unless I see something indicating, like, I just don't know where that story came from, but I haven't looked into this at all.
What they're claiming is that he assembled it, and I agree with you. Like, how do we know? But what they say is he assembled it on the roof with the screwdriver. Got off, left the screwdriver up there, right? Because Officer Bagley would later find it. he gets off the roof after leaving the screwdriver, but disassembled the weapon later, and it was found in the woods. Which, by the way, in the debate with Candace and Andrew, even though that already doesn't make sense, Andrew stated it was reported that there was dust and debris found in the weapon. And how do you account for that if the weapon had recently been fired? Andrew stated that it's possible. Okay,
Can I ask,
fair.
what does dust mean?
Great question.
Okay, because I've noticed that when I shoot my gun, it gets dirty as you shoot. You'd be surprised it looks like dust.
Okay.
So I don't know what they mean by that. It's like, but yeah, the more you shoot your gun, the dustier looking it gets too.
But the debris part, like, why was there so much debris in the gun? Andrew's explanation was
you got to remember in the ground, in the woods.
Well, he said, like, you got to remember that the weapon was also left in the woods. So isn't that another explanation as to why debris? The answer is no. No, it's not, because the weapon was wrapped in a towel. Remember?
Oh, so that black. Okay.
Don't know where the towel came from. They say he wrapped it. The gun was
don't know where
wrapped in a towel.
Okay, I got a theory. My guess is that when we were watching that video and that black thing comes out, and I was like, "Hey, that's probably the wrapping." I'm guessing that was the wrapping of what we're calling the towel.
I see.
Maybe it was. It was probably it could have been a towel, and that's what he threw in the woods, and some debris got in the barrel as he threw it down on the ground quickly.
Right.
That'd be my guess.
Here's the next thing. Let's talk a little bit about the quote unquote. Well, actually, before we get to that, do you know the reason why they said they were convinced that the person in all of these grainy footages that don't clearly show that it's Tyler Robinson? Do you remember the reason that they stated in the preliminary hearing why they were convinced that it was Tyler Robinson?
My understanding is it would be a combination of factors. That him saying, "You're going to see me in the footage," his lover saying, "Hey, that looks like him," his parents seeing the footage and saying that looks like him, that leading to the confession. I don't know much about it though, so I mean, something like that.
Sure. But one of the biggest pieces of things that they pointed to were the shoes. He was wearing, I believe, gray and white Converse.
I heard Candace say that. Can you explain this to me?
Huh?
Can you explain this to me? I don't understand.
So Tyler Robinson supposedly changed clothes. He came to the campus earlier that morning. They said he left. I believe he went to Chick-fil-A maybe at that point. Don't quote me on that. When he comes back, he's already changed clothes for the first time that day already. When he comes back, I believe that's when he has some sort of contact with one of TPUSA's employees or volunteers. Apparently, that's not seen on camera. But they said they know that the person that came back is still Tyler Robinson, despite changing clothes, because the shoes. But the shoes that Tyler Robinson was supposedly wearing that day, Warren, are the same exact kind of shoes that Lance Twiggs has.
What about his face? Like, they talked to him, right? So he talked to a Turning Point person.
Supposedly, yep.
Okay. So you're saying, and that Turning Point person after the fact says, "Yeah, I spoke to that guy, and I know it because he's wearing Converse." Now I'm saying, wouldn't it be like, I know it's him because the way his face looks?
Yes, totally understand what you're saying. I can't speak to that with conviction because it's hearsay. The Turning Point USA person, I don't think has been identified. So this was just mentioned during the preliminary hearing, and that was all we heard about it.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, but it's been, because remember, a lot of people are suspicious that Lance Twiggs may be a quote unquote fed. That is to say, some of these images that we're seeing that they're saying is Tyler could easily be Lance Twiggs.
Because, okay, why?
They resemble each other a lot.
Okay.
And
remember, he's got the same shoes, right?
And they have the same shoes. But not only that, the text messages, remember, which is part of the reason people would feel a lot better if the physical phone itself was a part of evidence instead of photos of the phone. And that's because you have to understand that Lance Twiggs has access to other devices owned by Tyler Robinson because they were quote unquote dating. So where were the messages sent from? You say that Tyler Robinson sent them. Well, we know that certain messages were sent in the Discord messages after Tyler Robinson was reportedly Mirandized. Something's not adding up here, clearly. who sent those messages if Tyler Robinson was already in custody?
And you don't think it, because you mentioned earlier that he had automated timed messages.
Correct. I don't know if you can do that on Discord. And even if you could, that's weird because he's exchanging conversation with people in the Discord. It's not like one message was sent out. He sent multiple messages. Supposedly he.
And that's verified?
Yeah, that's verified.
Damn. It seems like that would blow the lid off this thing. Well, I guess because it could be automated, but
well, that's why a lot of people are up in arms and they're waiting to see if the defense is going to mention all of these things, because a lot of us are confused. People, I say, oh, how come the defense weren't talking about this in the preliminary hearing? Because that wasn't their job. Not doing the preliminary hearing, as I'm sure you know. Also, remember the bullet to rifle comparison. There's so many things here that we forget a lot of it. The bullet to rifle comparison came back as inconclusive. So that's not even confirmed. We forgot about that one.
The bullet to rifle comparison, I thought it was inconclusive.
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's inconclusive. So when I mean by confirmed, that is to say, we don't even know as an absolute fact.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, dude, then we don't know. Damn, man. So what do you think the story, going back to the debate, because you got some interesting points, and I appreciate you doing this. You're a nice guy.
I keep thinking you're speaking to me sarcastically, Warren, and I can't tell, bro.
What about? No, you're a nice guy, man.
About about everything you've been saying, like sometimes it comes off like you're being sarcastic.
I got you. And in parts times I find myself wanting to, but you are, and part times I am. You are a nice guy though, and I appreciate you are genuinely nice guy. And I appreciate you taking the time. So what do you think? Do you think I think,
look, bro, I think something else is going on here. We can speculate why and who and what. Bro, if we haven't even talked about the odd behaviors of the people that day that was around Charlie. We haven't even talked about that. George Zinn, this is very important. Andrew Wilson says in his Joe Rogan interview, he says, Joe Rogan asked him about George Zinn, like, what's up with that guy? He seemed to be the distraction person. He goes, yeah, he's a known provocateur. He's known for doing this, but don't just blow past it like that means nothing. He's known for showing up at all these events. Yes, because that means he has foreknowledge. If he's showing up to these events, that means, so we would have to ask, we're about logic here. The logic, the next logical step is to ask the question, who told and paid George Zinn to show up to this event as if he knew something was going to happen? The moment it happened, he stands up, drops his pants. I did it. Look at me. So, okay, fine. Right? We can't prove with positive evidence that TPUSL, whoever, fine.
We could, though, technically, right? We could. It's possible, like, to get evidence, to get positive evidence that would, and finally blow the lid off this thing and prove what Turning Point is doing. We could.
How?
We just got to get the right evidence. Right?
Sure, I think you're being sarcastic again.
No, dude. No, man. Everything is possible to prove. Like, it's possible.
Well, sure. I agree with that. But the point, I'm just being fair here. I'm just stating,
if it's true, if it actually happens, it's possible to prove. You just need the right evidence. You agree with that? Like, if it happened, if it actually happened, we can prove it. We just need the right evidence.
No, I don't agree.
Okay.
Why, and I do believe that you're being sarcastic.
No, that's not sarcastic, man. If it happened.
No, it's not. It's not always possible to get the evidence for. What do I mean? If you had a meeting with George Zinn in private and you told him to do X, Y, and Z, hypothetically speaking, how would we ever be able to prove that? No, we would not be able to prove that.
A recording of it, a recording, someone who will say they met with them. I mean,
I think you're trolling me now, bro.
No, I'm just saying reality can be proven with the right evidence.
Why would they pave over the crime scene?
Yeah, man, I've thought about that. I've heard a lot of different theories. I'll be honest, the most plausible one is that I've spent a lot of time on colleges, and I understand that it's a money machine. It is a business. They're very concerned about uptight parents with their kids and their mental health, and like, oh, there was somebody got shot there, and they still got to go to class. So they wanted to clean it up, but I'm guessing because there's an investigation going, they can't until what is it? The FBI gives them the go ahead. So I'm guessing the FBI got to that point and they were like, "Hey, we're good." And then the school was like, "Oh, finally, we can do this." And they were like, "Hey, get it done by Sunday. Hey, it's a Sunday. We don't care. Go get it done today. We have the go ahead. Classes start on Monday." I don't know if you know what time of year that was. What do you know what time of year that occurred by any chance?
September. It was during the school season.
So yeah, school's in session. So do it on a Sunday. That would be my guess.
Yeah, that would still sounds like you're trolling me here, but I'm just gonna pretend everything you're saying is serious from here, man.
No, that's what
here's the problem, though, Warren.
think most likely happened.
I would be open to that theory if there wasn't another factor that you left out, which is extremely concerning. If you just pave over it because it's the school season and it's the weekend and it's the most convenient time to do it while students aren't in class, then I would understand that. The other red flag is that they also dug up ground beforehand. They didn't have to do that. They could have just paved over it. They dug up the ground before that point.
Was that for
it was like
testing?
10 inches into the soil. Why are you doing that?
Was that part of it? Who dug the ground?
The workers. There was 2 sets of workers hired. There was a set of workers that were hired to dig up the earth where Charlie was sitting. They broke up the concrete, dug into the earth, and then it was another crew that was hired to do an emergency paving over.
Okay, how do you know?
Yeah, that's been confirmed.
Oh.
Yeah, there was an emergency excavation.
Wait, did you say it has been confirmed?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And so where did you get that from?
Well, multiple places, including he interviewed on a podcast himself, the guy who paved over. And we have pictures of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there are pictures of the property where they dug up, and then there are also obviously the pictures after they paved over. It's also suspicious that you would even hire 2 sets of people to do that.
So what do you think? Why do you think they did that? The people behind it.
I mean, I don't know if I had to speculate. I would say you have one set to dig up maybe somebody that you trust a little bit more, because whatever may or may not have been in the earth that you obviously didn't want to be found, you dig up the earth with that set of people that you trust, and then you get another crew who has the expertise to install concrete. They have no idea. They have no relations to the first crew. That would be my speculation.
Okay. What do you think? What are we talking, like evidence of an explosive or what's in the earth?
Of something alternative.
Okay. Do you think it's more likely an explosive or a gun?
I don't think it was an explosive. I think that's a very compelling theory. My issue with that theory, though, is that I'm not an expert in this field. So this is just a regular person just giving their thoughts. I would assume that if something exploded under Charlie's shirt, I do agree that this shirt did something strange. I'm not against any theory of something being under Charlie's shirt, but an explosive, some sort of projectile coming out of the road mic to hit Charlie's neck, I would have expected to see some sort of flash, some sort of hole in the shirt, some sort of fire, some sort of burning, something. I saw none of that.
Yeah.
And so I struggle to believe. Now, it's very compelling that the bottom, the floorboard of the SUV had all of those, what appears to be broken glass that looks just like that of a road mic. Have you seen that? In the bottom of the
I heard about that. Yeah, glass.
But have you seen it, though?
Does it look a lot like a road mic? Is it like, I've never seen a broken road mic, though.
Yeah, so Candace not only showed the photo on her show, but she also showed a YouTube video of a person breaking up their road mic that has something completely unrelated to do with the Charlie Kirk case.
Shit.
It was a video from like 10 years ago that was breaking it up to demonstrate how the inside of a road mic looks like. And the broken pieces look literally, I have to show you at least the photo.
Okay, all right.
If you're not being sarcastic and you hadn't seen it.
No, I have not seen it. I know.
Let me get it here.
Just give me, while you pull that up, give me 30 seconds.
All right.
All right.
That's the inside of the SUV. The same SUV that
Wait,
was.
where is it? I'll see it.
You see it? The broken glass. Oh, sorry. Do you see it now?
Oh shit.
That's at the bottom of the floorboard of
Yeah,
the SUV.
that looks like a road bike. It does. I haven't broken one, but you said a guy broke one.
Yeah, let me
It look just like that.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find the video here on the spot.
And Candace showed this on her show.
Candace showed this on her show. She's the one who revealed it.
Oh, damn, dude.
Let's see. Let's see if this is. Okay. Trying to find this on the spot is not the easiest. I'll have to find it separately and send it to you.
I believe you, man. It's cool.
There's so many videos on road mics, but I will send it over. But anyways, or I could just send you the link to Candace's show where she revealed it and showcased it. So again, how do we explain this? And remember, and I think you may know this already, they had the SUV completely scrubbed and then sent into auction immediately. Are you aware of this?
No.
Like all of that is evidence. Do you know that Charlie's phone, his clothes, his microphone, his necklace, all of it has been kept in the possession of Erica Kirk and TPUSA?
Maybe, do you think
there is no exception for that? There is no excuse for that. Under all circumstances, that's evident.
I got you. But what if they like examined it and ran their tests and thought, we're done and now we're going to return it to his wife?
For sure, based on what we've seen, that is not the understanding. The understanding is from day one, it has never, ever been in the possession of the FBI or the state. Why would you not do all of those things? That's evidence.
How do you? Oh, I got you. Okay, well, when would it not be evidence though? When would it be okay to give it back to the wife? Like,
fair
what
enough,
if you did examine it? Huh?
That's a great question. After you've went through it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they immediately gave it, like all of that stuff. My understanding is it was never, ever in police possession. It's not like we're saying the police only had it for a couple of days and gave it right back. No, I'm saying never. Never. From our understanding, they never had any of that stuff.
From where are you getting that understanding?
Based on everybody who has talked to sources within TPUSA. I believe Barron has shared it, this information. I believe I know Candace has shared it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there's one other person. But yeah.
Okay. So if we should probably close this out soon though. But so like what, because I'll be honest, I mean, it's strange stuff, man. What is the thing that is, because Candace still, after all this conversation, looking back, if I'm being honest, as much as I like Candace, like she didn't present any of this to Andrew Wilson. Why? Like, what was she thinking? She should have shown the microphone or something. Like, that would have
Totally
sealed the
agree.
debate right there. Like,
Totally
debate
agree.
over.
I don't know the strategy behind it. Like, did you see what she revealed yesterday?
No, would you reveal?
Dude, I didn't even
Oh,
watch the show with Terrell Farnsworth. Did you see it?
no, what was it?
So Terrell Farnsworth notoriously took the SD card out of the camera.
Okay.
He explained that he took the SD card out of the camera because he was afraid someone would steal it, which makes no sense. Because he took the SD card, but he kept the expensive cameras that are worth way more than the SD card itself.
Right, but to
He
be
left
fair
those
to
out.
him, the footage is on the SD card, and that's what someone would be stealing after a shooting. Like,
Fair. But what's strange about that is how he was behaving.
oh,
You have to go and watch the footage of what Terrell Farnsworth was seen doing after everybody had cleared out. He placed the SD card in his pocket and he was texting somebody.
mm,
What?
that's strange.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what she was thinking, why she didn't present that. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I
where
can't
do you think?
explain why
Where
she
do you
did or
think?
did not do certain things.
Where do you think Andrew fits into all this?
Andrew Covett?
No, Andrew Wilson.
Andrew Wilson. I think Andrew Wilson, based on what I've seen from him, I believe that he's been paid to do what he's doing. Yeah, based on his brand, how he's carried himself. Yeah.
What do you mean? Like how he carries himself?
Super critical of women. I don't mind being critical of women, calling women all women retards, but he's gonna come in white knight for Erica Kirk, which is very strange.
Because he's called women retarded.
No, he's called all women retarded, and he specifically said things about Erica Kirk. He said that she is not fit to run TPUSA. She's too retarded to do a plethora of different things.
Isn't that kind of Candace's argument as well, though? To be fair, like
I don't
she's
remember
not
ever
fit to
calling her
run.
retarded.
Well, she didn't call her retarded, but she said she's not fit to run Turning Point.
She's not qualified. A person cannot be qualified for something and still be an intelligent person. I'm not qualified to run TPUSA. I don't think I'm retarded.
Okay. I get your point. Yeah, man, the way Andrew carries himself,
So I guess this is my biggest question for you.
Okay.
Before we end this, and for some reason my mouse is frozen, which is very strange, and I can't do anything on my screen right now. So my question would be to you. You say that you're about 75-85% convinced that Tyler Robinson did this, but majority of the evidence that we went through today is in question. Like, not convincing at all.
It's not convincing at all. I got you. All right, let me break this down.
Why is your number so high? Is I guess what I'd say.
I got you. Okay. So my number, once it goes to trial and the text messages are verified, the confession is verified, we get some witnesses on the stand, like his parents tell us about how he came home. They confronted him. Yep, that's his rifle. Like, I'll be like, there's always going to be room for error. I think that was a mistake for Candace to say 0%, because it's like, I understand your point, but there's always a little room for someone to be set up, some other conspiracy, right? Sometimes that can get the best of us. But if the parents were, once it's verified, I mean, I'm going to be at like 90, it's very 95, 98%. Like if let me put it this way, if his parents were like, we saw him and they confirmed it, he did it. If Tyler Robinson came out, I'll put it this way. If Tyler Robinson came out and said, you know what, guys, I shot Charlie Kirk, I did it, just don't put me in death row, I would be 95% at that point.
Do you believe that patsies exist in any case, like in history? Do you think that's an actual
Has
thing?
anyone ever been a patsy?
Yes.
You know where the term comes from?
I'm not sure.
Back in Medici, the
That's
Pazzi, I
right.
believe this is where it came from, the Pazzi family, the rival family from the Medici, and they set someone up. So, by definition, it's happened. That would be my answer.
Okay. In what cases would you believe that someone is a patsy? Like what will be able to convince you? Because in every case where there's a patsy, there's quote unquote evidence to support the claim that they did something, right? Would you agree with that?
And sorry, state that again.
There are evident. Would you agree,
Hmm.
or would you concede the point that in history there have been actual patsies or people you believe
Yeah.
to be patsies, and even in those cases, there is quote unquote evidence presented that could prove or point to the fact that they did something wrong that day.
Yes, anything that is anything objective truth, anything that happens actually happens in reality, the right evidence can indicate that. So even if so, for example, a patsy, if we were to take a patsy and frame him, like they made a movie about this shooter with Mark Wahlberg.
Sure.
Like they try and make him a patsy, and he proves he's not a patsy at the end of it.
Good movie, by the way.
It is. So you just got to have evidence, man.
That's very interesting that you think about it that way. You patsies exist. You also agree that patsies can exist even though there could be evidence sort of framing them as the person that committed the crime, but unless they're able to access the evidence to prove otherwise, it's all right for people to think that they're actually guilty. Is that right?
I'm not saying it's all right to think Mark Wahlberg. So let's use that as an example. It's not all right to think Mark Wahlberg did something he didn't do. No,
Okay.
but but evidence can prove your in like if you're being like physical reality can be supported by physical reality and then logic off of that reality.
I agree. Here's I think the distinction that's very important to state here that we haven't discussed. I do think that Tyler Robinson is guilty of something. So in other words, and what made me think to say that to you is because one could say, just show video footage of Tyler Robinson somewhere else. There's proof that he wasn't there and he didn't do it. Show Tyler Robinson was actually in another state or he was actually in class somewhere else
Right
or
there,
something.
but you're starting from the presupposition that he's in it, that he wasn't there. So you're sure there's proof. You just said there's proof he wasn't there.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what if he was there? Right? Have you considered that though?
I have.
In which case, you're not going to be able to find that proof you're looking for.
Well, no, that's not true because it's about timing. The pow pounding of Charlie Kirk was 12:23 p.m. UVU time. Him being at that restaurant, it's not in confliction because of the time Charlie was shot. It's in confliction because of the text messages that were sent.
I got you, man. But consider.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Is it possible that Candace's story is as unlikely as it might be, man? I know she wouldn't lie.
Sure, it's possible.
It's possible that that's not verified, and he was there.
Yeah, it's possible. And if it's proven to be otherwise, I'll accept that for sure.
Good. That's the thing, man, because I think that's what's going to happen. And it's going to, what are you going to do in that case if that does happen? Like, you don't want to get so invested in this stuff to where even once he comes out and confesses to avoid death row or whatever, you're like, no, the whole thing. Like, what do you think Candace is going to do when he's proven guilty?
I don't know, but I do want to ask you,
or if I should
does it not concern you that we have video footage of supposedly Tyler Robinson on the roof, doesn't look anything like him, doing a lateral crawl, but there's no footage of him actually taking the shot?
Isn't there footage of? Didn't they say you can see the recoil? You can't see the recoil or anything.
Nah.
So you think the guy was just like pointing the rifle?
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he had one. From
just
what the
like
video you and I
just
just
carrying
watched.
something shaped like a rifle to look like he had a rifle. Like,
He's
why
doing.
would you? I'm just curious. Like, was that what you? That
Well,
would be the
no, hold
alternative,
on.
right?
You're talking about two separate things, bro.
Oh,
You're talking about the person on the stairs. I'm talking about the video footage on the roof.
right.
The video footage on the roof. Do you see a rifle in that footage?
Yeah. Don't you? Like, it looks like, okay, I'll put it this way. It looks like a guy holding a right. Bring up the footage and let's check this out.
Yeah,
Let's check this
my
theory.
mouse isn't moving. It's frozen. It's still frozen.
I got you, man. No, I
Oh,
think
well, it's working now.
okay.
Apparently it's not.
I would describe it.
My mouse died.
Oh,
So I got to
see,
use this in
it's
here. Let's pull it up.
explanation.
Okay.
But while you're working on that, you don't think looks like a guy with a rifle?
I think that it looks like somebody with something. What I'm saying is, and I'm not opposed to it being a rifle. The video does not make that clear.
Okay. You're right. You're right. It doesn't make it clear, but that's what I would
If we
infer.
get better footage and it shows a person with a rifle, I have no problem with admitting. I'm saying based on this, here, let's play it.
Okay. Because look at that lateral crawl. I mean, that's someone who's clearly highly trained. Why would someone who's
And I
clearly
actually do
highly
wanna show you,
trained be
side by
doing a
side
lateral
so you can
crawl
actually
if
see
he
a real
wasn't
military
armed?
man do that,
I can just break it down.
alongside this person on the rooftop. Let's bring in that side by side clip. Here we go. That general action right there is known as a lateral crawl.
Yeah, so he's doing the lateral crawl, so he's clearly
And
trained.
we're running that
So
back
then,
and forth there.
Like I said, it's a
okay,
gun.
right? But why would a highly trained agent?
Okay.
I mean, we're talking like a soldier on a rooftop doing a lateral crawl. Why would he be doing that if he wasn't?
I get
And
your
then someone
point.
gets shot.
It's safe to assume that he may have one. I'm saying I want to see it.
I would too. I want to see it.
I want to see it. That's called proof. I just want to see it. That's all. And this footage, this is the best footage we have, and we don't see it.
I got you. Fair enough. You're right.
And we don't see him ever take a shot.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Watch that again. Something forward.
It just, to me, given the lateral crawl and that he's highly trained and now he's lying down, I would infer, and then the fact that someone gets shot right after this, I would infer this is someone on a roof about to shoot someone. But it could be someone highly trained doing this to look like someone shooting someone.
Right. Well, hold on. Let's follow your logic. So,
okay,
if you're stating that this is somebody that's highly trained, Warren, are you stating that you believe that Tyler Robinson was highly trained like a military operative?
Damn, you got me, man. You know what? You got me. So I'm going to be forced to revise that to where I don't think that looks like someone who's highly trained. As hard as that is to believe. Is that silly?
Bro, you're not serious, bro. You're joking right now.
Why? Because he looks highly trained to you?
I just met you, so I guess I'm still learning your sarcasm. Here's another question.
No, but I mean, it's like I did ninjutsu a lot. I was telling you about that, right? So when my brother and I would dress up as ninjas, be sneaking around, like I can do that.
So you're being sarcastic and you're saying you don't have to be highly trained in order to do it.
Correct. I'm saying you don't have to be highly trained to do that because I can do it.
I see what you're saying, but
okay,
it's important. I just met you, bro. It's important the sarcasm that you're using. Sure, your audience may understand what you're doing. I don't. And I don't know you, so maybe you were trained, and I didn't catch that earlier when you explained it. But here's something else.
So
it's also been. I don't know if you saw the videos. I believe it was Diligent Dennison again, or another channel. Someone that lives in Utah went to the Losey Center roof, and the place in which this person stopped, it's impossible to shoot someone from that position unless the weapon is mounted. Have you seen that video footage?
No, I haven't. I've heard that there's some guy went up there and he's like, I'm gonna prove this. So you're saying he climbed up to where Tyler was in that, or the man was in that footage,
Correct.
and he's saying, no, you can't take that angle there.
From that angle.
We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Candace should have brought that up. That happened
Well,
before the debate. Oh, that was after the debate, though.
it
I
was
think,
after
right?
the debate.
I don't know, man. So
What I've noticed, I'm not going to put you in this category, but what I've noticed with people like Andrew Wilson is when you bring up incredibly suspicious things like scrubbing the entire SUV immediately, that didn't go into evidence. Scrubbing the SUV, sending it off into auction. Why would you do that? Why would you not turn over Charlie's things into evidence? From day one, Erica Kirk says that she had his phone. Something's wrong here.
wait, I thought the police took it. I thought the problem was the police took his things and gave it back too soon.
My understanding was when they say took, I believe they had possession the day of, not took it somewhere to a physical place. My understanding is that they like physically had it standing like maybe at the hospital. I'm not sure. And then they walked it to Erica.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm not familiar with how the police rule out, like, oh, we need to, when is it acceptable to give this necklace back to the widow? How they rule that they're at that point, I don't know. But I think we probably agree that there's a point in which they can do that.
Sure. It's just I would imagine that would be in a reasonable amount of time.
And I don't know how long the necklace was in their possession. I would just say be careful. Some of these things are more interesting than others. Just be careful reading too much into it. Like the lateral crawl thing.
Sure. I understand what you're saying.
So to you, that looks like someone who's highly trained.
Well, I wouldn't. Well, maybe. I'm just saying that that's a strange thing to be doing.
Shooting someone from a roof is a strange thing to do. I will concede. But if you're going to try and crawl to the edge of a roof holding a rifle, you're going to, if I hand you a rifle right now and ask you to simulate pretend someone's down there, you got to sneak. You're going to do something that looks very similar. And now, do you find it strange that Candace Owens would bring up an image of a soldier crawling as though that indicates advanced training?
No, what I think she's implying is that it's something that is typically done by the military. Regular people do not do. You're going to say regular people don't shoot people from a rooftop. The point is, how many cases in history of politically affiliated or not, powed a person and was doing a lateral crawl prior to doing so? Like how many just off memory?
Oh, off memory? 12?
Okay, who?
Jacob Smith, when he shot I'm forgetting I don't know, man. You got me. I don't know the number of lateral crawls that led up to an assassination. Do you?
I don't ever remember that occurring.
Oh shit. Okay, let me just examine the logic here. All right.
Here's the sarcasm again, you all. All right, bro. This has been a dope conversation, man. Any final thoughts?
I'm honestly trying to follow your logic here. Let's put sarcasm aside. I'm trying to follow your logic how would we know how many lateral crawls have occurred?
I don't know, like video footage, the one we just saw. I'm just saying based on video footage.
So you don't have video footage of someone doing a lateral crawl prior to an assassination. What does that teach you? Why are you even factoring that into your thinking?
Gotcha. Okay, fine. Any final thoughts, Warren?
Okay. Be
Majority of the
careful.
things with this case, you weren't even familiar with them, bro. And then you're like speaking to me with this sarcasm, like it's unnecessary.
I got you. No, that's fair.
Like for somebody that's not so familiar with the case, you're speaking with a bit of arrogance, bro. I'm not understanding that.
I got you. No, I'm trying to
trying to
give it
understand.
air. I'm trying to follow you through these things, and and just to hear your thoughts on it genuinely. But at times, like the lateral crawl thing, it doesn't make logical sense. And so then, if I'm trying to point that out, I'm not trying to, like, there have been times in this conversation where I am kind of aghast at it, where I because I'm a struggle with it because on what you are a nice guy, like genuinely, and I kind of feel bad that like I think there's many people like you out there that are genuinely curious, and that's a good thing. And you think for yourself, that's a good thing, but you truly think for yourself and don't like take everything that's like the lateral crawl thing because Candace says it. Suddenly
Nah,
it's an
it's not because
advanced
Candace says
military
it.
maneuver,
I
and now you're
understand.
backwards rationalizing. Well, I've never seen video evidence of how many lateral crawls have occurred. It's like,
Yeah, sure,
dude, do
sure.
you need to even
Fine.
ask yourself that?
Fine.
To think of,
You're harping on this one thing that I said I got you. The passive aggressiveness don't really suit you, Warren.
I'm not
This is what
trying to
I'll
be
say, bro.
passive aggressive.
Yeah,
at
you've
all.
been passive aggressive majority of the interview. I've just ignored most of it. This is what I'll say to you, bro.
Okay.
What doesn't make sense to me is that you are not familiar with more than 80% of this case, yet you're 80% convinced that Tyler Robinson did this. Most of the things that's been discovered,
Dude,
you're not familiar with it, bro.
And
I'm very shocked.
I went into this debate saying, based off of the debate between Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens,
Fair enough.
analyzing their arguments. I'm
About
not
the case.
trying to make a claim as though I've gone through all these theories.
Fair.
I have humored it to try and examine your logic and how you approach rationalizing things.
Yeah.
And there's some, just be careful because you don't want to go down. You don't let this consume you.
Don't let what consume me? You calling me a conspiracy theorist?
No, viewing things through a narrative. Narrative is incredibly powerful because we make sense of the world through narrative.
I understand what you're saying.
And so when you start viewing these things through a narrative, suddenly a glass on the ground, like, dude, that doesn't look like a road microphone, like someone, and then someone who wants it to be true demonstrates the thing. They climb
so
to the
you
roof,
were being
they break.
sarcastic with that as well. So
dude, I've been sarcastic this entire time. You should be able to pick up on that, but I don't want to be rude as well. But I'm genuine. I wanted
so you decided
to
to take a conversation to be sarcastic. No, you that's a defense mechanism. You're sarcastic because you can't actually discuss the case. That's why.
That's an interesting read on it.
I think that's a pretty accurate read. Who would accept the conversation about the debate, let alone the case, discuss it, and decide to be sarcastic majority of the time? You said that the glass in the bottom of the SUV doesn't look like it could be shredded pieces of road mic. Fine. What does it look like to you?
But that does not. When I look at that, I do not. There's nothing there.
When you look at the images of Tyler, it could be Tyler. It could not be Tyler.
So let me compare. Let me understand this. So you're comparing, when I look at that glass on the floor, if I don't see that as a road mic, that's the equivalent of looking at an image where Tyler says, I'm on the security footage. We have confessions, DNA, all these other factors leading to that, to that conclusion. And you're comparing that to me not thinking that glass looks like a road mic.
Right.
My
position is not that
question, then.
My position is not that you should believe that it is a road mic. I'm saying that it's possible based on what it looks like. That's all.
It's possible that could be a road mic.
Sure.
That's not.
You said it doesn't look like it.
That's not. But that's not the same thing as me taking all these different factors with confession, all these, and saying that would make a reasonable. That probably is him in the footage. Then.
So
and you
fair
say,
enough.
But you're silly to come to that conclusion because that could be. It could be a road mic. It might not be.
All right. So just final thoughts. If you can give us the top 5 to 7 pieces of evidence you say convinced you that Tyler Robinson did this based on what we went over in today's video?
I would be based on that were presented in the debate. So we met to debate my coverage of the debate, which we
Right.
did, but we
Right.
moved on very quickly. Like you didn't want to really go into that, it seemed, and then I did humor you just to try and because you're a nice guy and I enjoy talking, and it's fascinating as well. And then I suddenly realized, like, oh shit, dude, this guy, like, this is some next level. Like, there's some value there to the because I have a chance to speak to someone who views the world this way. That's interesting. So it's not all about It's not all about just
It's likewise.
making fun of you. There is some of that, but I am genuinely interested in
Listen,
understanding the psychology.
fair. You are your own man. You're free to do that. I believe it's very immature, but you are free to do that. I look at you the same way. When I saw your video, I was baffled. I thought it was extremely
Why?
superficial.
What baffles you about that?
Listen, bro, it's 9:30 where I am, man. We've had 2 hours
Okay.
on the dot
All right.
actually to discuss this. You decided to spend most of it being sarcastic, which is very strange.
I was just going along for the ride, man. You were it was cool too, and I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Like I learned a lot, and I was genuinely interested. I just didn't want to be like, dude, you're dumb, like, because I wanted to hear what you thought, you know.
All right, yeah, for sure. So what are those top 5, 7 pieces of evidence? Is it the blurry images or the blurry video?
A confession is multiple confessions seems like something that is not insignificant. Now, yeah, they might be forced. It might all be phony, but
we literally spoke about those pieces of evidence, and while they're in question, he's still calling it confessions. Okay.
Fine. My understanding is that he says in text there are text messages. My understanding is there are text messages where he says, "Yeah, you'll see me in the footage." They discussed it in the debate. His parents discussing it with him, confronting him on it. He confessed. He turned himself in, finding DNA, finding a rifle that they say belonged to his grandfather, and then security footage. There are things that are strange. People should think for themselves, but also don't lash out at people who are the ones who are actually don't have their minds made up, who are actually leaving room for the unknown.
But you say this, you don't have your mind made up, but the position you seem to take doesn't seem that way at all.
No, I've made it as clear as I can, where I think it is more likely, like if I were to put my money, actual money, on what I based on what is available, based on the data points, what would most likely yield a return on my investment, that's where I would put my money. It's not that I feel a certain way about Candace or Andrew.
Yeah.
That's just rational thought.
Okay. Hey, I have to state here before you go, man. It's a bit. I'm new to this, and I think it's very clear how naive I am to discussing topics with people that I deem to be intelligent. And I mean that genuinely, who decide to be misleading with their intent and just
I apologize.
Very passive aggressive. No,
I apologize
I do want to say
if
this
that
out
was
loud.
manipulative.
It kind of scares me. I'm going to be honest. That's a bit dangerous to me. I'm afraid of people like you, bro, because people like you that can come off that way. Maybe if I had known you for a number of years, I would have clocked the sarcasm and passive aggressive energy a lot sooner. But because I don't know you, in your videos, you come off as very laid back and reserved. That I just truly felt like this was your approach. But you're one of those people you gotta watch, man, because I guess you think you're so smart that you can get one over on a person you don't deem to be intelligent, and there's like an inside joke happening the entire time, and I'm the only one that don't understand it. It's extremely rude, and I think it undermines you and your intelligence to approach a conversation about a case that you clearly don't know very much about.
Well, I don't mean, I apologize if it is rude. It just kind
Of course,
started
when is
playing
being
out that
passive
way.
aggressive in a serious conversation not rude?
I wasn't trying to be
Warren?
passive. I wasn't passive aggressive. That's a different. I'm not being aggressive. Like what? I mean, what would an example of me being aggressive be in this conversation?
Okay, cool.
Well, I mean,
cool.
You can label these things to people, but I mean, you are a nice guy, man.
Sure. I actually believe
I'm
that you're
not-
serious when you say that, and part of
You
the reason
are,
I
yeah.
believe that is because I am a nice guy. I'm not a rude
You are,
person.
yeah.
I'm a passionate person. But then you have people who think that they're so smart that certain people in conversations are beneath them. You not
No,
here.
look, to be fair, it started as a point where I was trying to make a point about Candace, and I genuinely felt let down. Like she just kind of like wussed
That's
out.
how me and many others felt about your video, brother. I think it was very superficial, and I think the way you're covering this case is very superficial, or
Hey,
I should say, covering the way you covered the debate. It was
fair
very
enough, man.
one-sided. You say you mentioned Andrew. You mentioned at the very ending. Of course, you're free to do and talk whatever you want about. Talk about whatever you want in your videos for sure. All I'm going to say is I have a
I
right
got
as a
you.
person that respected you and your views to be a bit more
You
objective.
said
And you
have you watched my content before this, or was this you just kind of like
No,
upset with
I
me for
just said
talking
like I
about
love
Candace?
no, that's the reason I had an issue with it. Like I was like, dude, your content is super dope. You're like common sense, you're very objective, or at least you came off as very objective. So that's what led me to that conclusion. I wouldn't have known that unless
Why does it upset you that like what I said in that video? Like why would that mean you're not going to talk to me?
well, I
Like
didn't say I'm not gonna talk to you, bro. I didn't say that.
okay, well that's all I'm asking for. Is just like don't let disagreement over
I totally
this
agree. I don't
Candace
hate you. I
thing.
don't dislike you. I was just disappointed in the video. Humans, we're always going to disagree on something. There's no beef here at all. I
Cool.
still respect you as a intellectual, despite you not giving me the same respect
I'm trying.
in
I get your
return. I don't
point.
need you to try. I don't want your respect, to be honest
Okay.
with you, Warren. You're
Okay.
going to have mine. That's all that matters. I think it's cornball behavior to approach another grown man with that approach, right? If you were speaking to an idiot or somebody you deem to be an idiot, which is probably your perspective, I will better understand. I'm an educated man. That was unnecessary to approach it. You cheated the audience. Yeah.
Where does this coming from suddenly? Are you like reading comments or something?
No.
Like
Wait.
what
What do you mean?
caused this flip? Because
What
I
flip?
was like, I feel
Because your
yeah.
sarcasm and your passive aggressiveness picked up at the end, and you specifically said, I've been sarcastic throughout this entire interview. Excuse me?
Oh, I got. Well, I don't take it that way, dude. I mean, there was like
I
I'm
shouldn't trust
genuinely
what you
trying
tell me.
to. Okay, all right. I mean, I'm genuinely trying to explore these things and make certain points. I'm not pretending to think these things. Like,
Well, let's do this. It's 9:38. You are open to have a conversation at the very least. I do
it's
mean it
cool.
when
We
I
got.
say I
Yeah, it's
appreciate
cool.
that part. Do what?
We got to run. I know it's late. Don't worry about it.
If you would love to have another conversation in the near future, Warren, I know you don't go live. I actually meant to say this at the very beginning. I noticed that your last live was literally about Charlie Kirk being shot. And ironically, my first time seeing the footage was on camera and I cried. I was on live and I went to Twitter or X, not expecting to see it. And I saw the footage and I cried. And so I thought that was incredible. That was displayed all across the internet, blew my mind. Tragic. And so I think one thing we can end this video on a high note is that we both respected many things about Charlie Kirk. I think we can both agree on that. I do believe that Charlie Kirk was well on his way to becoming president of this country. I do not believe J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio would have beat out Charlie Kirk. I think he had the youth, and I think that is incredibly powerful. And so for me, I just want to know what happened, and I care about what's been presented, what has not been presented. I'm the same as at least the words that you say. I don't care about how I feel. It's not about how I feel about Candace or Andrew Wilson or anybody else. I care about the evidence that's been presented, the narrative that they've given us. You say be careful with narratives. Well, it's also narratives when the feds give us certain things. And we also can agree, I'm sure, that the feds have a history of lying. And so at the very least, they should be put through the ringer. We should scrutinize the evidence. And as I've demonstrated, I think very easily in today's episode, despite Warren's very unserious behavior that I'm deeming to be unserious at times, I think I've demonstrated that there are a lot of irregularities with this case. And I am not convinced, based on what they've given us, that Tyler Robinson took out Charlie Kirk with one shot from the rooftop of the Losey Center. Not to mention there are so many other things that we didn't get to. But again, if Warren decides to come on, maybe we can get to that next time.
Stay curious, man. Keep doing your thing. There's nothing wrong with pursuing truth.
Shoot, they're gonna hate me. I didn't get to any of these super chats. Warren, you can stick around if you want for the super chats. I'm gonna try to get to like 30 of them.
30? Okay, I'm gonna run then for 30. Thanks for having me on, dude. Stay curious, all right?
All right, man.
All right, thanks.
All right, y'all. What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think about it? I'm glad that he decided to take the conversation. Very happy. I think that says a lot about his character, but I also believe now that Warren had an agenda. I think he had an agenda to come on. Let me come on and troll this idiot. Is what I think it was his approach. Isn't it interesting in the world how two different people can have two different perspectives and see each other completely different? Like, I'm baffled that anybody believes the Fed's narrative, the story that they've given us based on the information or some of the information that I've given today, which is only some of the reasons, by the way. There's a plethora of other reasons that we didn't even discuss in today's episode. So I'm baffled. I'm trying to understand, like, how are you? What the world? Do you not see what we see? Or do you not see what we see? And then they're looking at us the very same way. Low IQ and no. Crazy. That was different for me, bro. That was very different for me. And it made me very uncomfortable, to be honest with you. If he does that, if we ever talk again on camera and he decides to approach the conversation that way, I'm going to make sure beforehand. Otherwise, I'm just going to end the conversation with him. 5 minutes, if I clock or sense any sort of passive-aggressive energy, any sarcasm, any unseriousness, no. You think you're so far above somebody that you're going to just troll them? No, bro. You can go troll somebody somewhere else. You're not going to, no humans are going to agree on all topics. It was very underwhelming, very disappointing, the video that he made, very confusing, that I wanted to talk with him. I got what I asked for. I thought that was dope. But that don't mean I got to stoop to his level and be inappropriate as well. All right. Y'all going to have to hate me, man. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try to get to many of these. Thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much. And I got to use my pad here because my mouse actually went out. So thank you for the $5. ZD, get that sell out. He's full of it. I'm not going to call him names. This is actually for Andrew's channel. Catching Warren live is like catching the unicorn of intelligence. God bless Warren. Huge fan. Thank you with gratitude for what you do. Reminds me of my favorite teacher back in 2002. That made me a critical thinker. Courage, intelligence wins. Shout out to you. Shout out to Warren for showing up. Like I said. Okay. Boom, boom. Thank you. Okay. All righty. If Tyler can't be proven he shot Charlie because you aren't. Thank you for the $10. If Tyler can be proven he shot Charlie because you aren't 100% and all evidence provided it to make him look like the shooter, then failing that he is a patsy, or why else was he there? Yeah. All right. Let's see. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Okay. The good news is majority of these super chats are for him, so I don't have to read those here. The defense will never be given the physical phone. They were, however, already given access to the data from the phone. Okay. Cool. Thank you for the $5. Utah has flock cameras. Zero reason for not confirming his car was there. Exactly. If he isn't confirmed to be there, he's not confirmed to be the shooter. Agreed. Major Matt, thank you for the $10. The defense wasn't allowed access to Tyler's phone, so they can't confirm the text sent by Tyler, right? And or metadata. Charlie's phone contains alleged death threats, and the police don't have Charlie's phone, right? Very weird. Very, very strange. They brag about their unalivings and likes it public. Do you find the fact that Charlie rejected? Yeah, if you notice in this conversation, I didn't mention it yet. I didn't take that angle because one, we're on YouTube, but two, it's an easy out for them. And what I mean is, I can't confirm certain things about what Charlie was dealing with in his personal life, so I left it alone. Thank you for the $5. Candace Owens said Erica TPUSA are complicit in pushing the narrative Fed slop, not a cover up. Well, no, she did say that they're complicit in a cover up. She did tweet that, but a cover up doesn't mean unaliving Charlie, right? Unaliving Charlie. That's not what that means necessarily. All right, thank you for the $20. Great job making solid points. Love your channel. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you for the $10. Could be wrong, but this guy shares traits on the autistic spectrum. If so, or not everyone should be kind, patient, respectfully disagreeing. Didi, what's your take on the two-shot theory guy you had on? Great question. My take is that it was very compelling. His presentation was very compelling. I shared in that conversation with him the parts where I weren't very sure about, and I couldn't confirm or give my absolute certainty that certain things was taking place. But the reflection from Frank Turek's phone, you do see the light, what looks to be or could be a drone. I thought that was very compelling. So. Marcia, oh, you were in you were in Jesse on Fire's channel earlier. You're making judgment as to who had it last with that. I'm not. Oh, with the weapon, right? Thank you for the $2. Thank you for the $10. We are unsure if the state has Twig's phone, but they have Tyler's phone. However, have not given the defense access to verify that the messages were sent from his phone or a different device. Yeah, I forgot to make that distinction as well. Great point. Thank you for the $5. Really hate this tactic of us thinking too hard into things. So because we think Tyler is innocent, Bigfoot is real too. Poisoning the well. Very well said. Very well said. Very well said. Didi got a win. Good job, bro. Appreciate that. Let's see. This is actually a comment for Warren. RP Warren's social ability. Warren so locked on the logic, he missed the social end of the debate. Thank you for the $5. Warren's chat is chimping out right now. Some people are even leaving his channel because of it. Keep it up, Didi. Some people are waking up. Look, I'm just here to it's kind of amazing to me that I'm the one that's viewed as low IQ. He didn't use that language, but he may as well have low IQ or a conspiracy theorist. When I'm presenting, we're showing you the evidence that the feds have given us or the state has given us, and we're agreeing together. None of these are clear to be Tyler Robinson. I'm the low IQ one for stating that. Nothing is clear. All these cameras that they have, why don't they have clear footage? Why are they purpose or intentionally giving us freaking what do you call it? Why are they intentionally giving us grainy footages? That's, for the life of me, I can't make sense of that. I can't make sense of that. But because it's like they're taking this position. If you can't tell me what did happen, well, what the state is saying happened, you have to accept it. It don't matter if you can actually disprove it. Nope. Because the only way you can disprove it is if you also tell us everything that did happen and the reason it happened. Huh? He's saying I'm coming with backwards logic. Okay, cool. Cool, bro. Don't see how you see that, but okay. Thank you for the $10 for the honorable, honest, and brave Didi. Warren either admits he needs to re-examine his take or he's an asset. Very strange. Very strange, y'all. Thank you for the $5. Didi entire argument. It seems weird. It looks kind of strange. What's this thing about whom? Why he do that? The way he carries himself. Thank you for the $2. Just talk about the footage that isn't there. He's trolling. Am I right? Yeah, I think he was. That super chat is for Warren, by the way. So that's one of his viewers. Thank you for the $5. You have to remember Warren said he was a teacher. I think he sounds like one when he speaks, so I don't find him sarcastic. At least I think he is. Yeah. Did he ask about January 6th? Many Patsies? Ask how you tell PSYOP, right? Yeah, man. Defeat the first 3 arguments, then I'll get you on the 4th. Then I'm right. Thank you for the $5. What about the car being cleaned and auctioned right after the set? Right. They did not hold on to it as evidence for trial after another not anomaly. Correct. This is actually a super chat for Warren. Somebody says, cheers, DDG. You're absolutely a cool guy and deserve respect because you gave it kudos and respect. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $11. Candace states that she wanted to review all the evidence, but Andrew insisted they move on to Erica. All right. She said this twice. Both of you watched the debate, but can't remember that. I don't remember that specific part, but I did state, because I remember this, it was the direction that Andrew kept taking the conversation. I vividly remember that. There were so many things that they didn't get to. He was like, well, Candace should have presented this. And I guess he was probably being sarcastic. I don't get the sarcasm purpose, the purpose of the sarcasm there, because I think the conversation just kept derailing because Andrew's tactic is to get you with a bunch of gotchas with your semantics and your absolute statements. And let's talk about your theories. Let's not analyze the actual case itself. Thank you. Thank you. That guy just threatened you. Did he? Thank you for the $10. Warren comes off as, I agree. He does, equal to Andrew. He's not knowledgeable of the case and is using sarcasm as a defense. That's exactly what I said. It's a defense mechanism. He doesn't really know the case like that. So it's a strategy people use to deflect. Let me just get you with a gotchas, and my audience will be like, oh, Warren's so above him. He's not even going to waste his time. He's just going to troll him. No, you don't know the case that well. And is using sarcasm as a defense as to seem as if he was smarter. He's right. Agreed. Shout out to Gina. Thank you for the $5. Frank Turek said a cop wanted necklace and she said no and proceeded to give it to Eric instead. He said it on the interview. Quite a condescending dude. I agree. I didn't know that detail, by the way. Thank you for the $20. Miss Elaine, hope you're doing well. Tried to warn you, he's a disingenuous racist. Thank you for the $2. I don't know if the guy's racist. He may be. That may be the entire point of him coming on. I don't know. I'm not calling him a racist. I don't have proof of that. And I don't have reason to believe it. But I will say his energy was very strange. I'm going to be honest. Like, people like that, if he was given that energy in person, I would just like to remove myself from that scenario. I wouldn't trust that. That energy was strange. And I believe in that. Energy is a real thing. And the energy I was getting from him was foreign to me. That's the way I would describe it. It was foreign. I don't like that energy. It makes me uncomfortable. And when I get uncomfortable, that's not good. So, thank you for the $5. Warren warns about following narratives as he follows the state's narrative unconditionally. Just insane hypocrisy. 100% agree. Thank you for the $5, Gina. He actually just wasted your time. Then he called you dumb, just like Jake Rattlesnake did. Exactly. In my opinion, they are the ones who aren't very smart. He's a shield. Yeah. Consider many people in these spaces on the spectrum. Some cannot reason beyond rigid thought forms. Debate is not an option with certain thought forms, the overarching issue on the internet. Thank you for the $10. I agree. Thank you for the $10 as well. Didi, some guy proved how it's impossible to conceal the gun in his pants. The guy's taller than TR and used a similar size gun. I forgot his name, but someone might know. Multiple people did that. But see, if I mention that to a person like Andrew or Warren, I know it's strange to me. Just strange to me. Like when I show him the footage of Governor Cox stating that they claimed that the guy changed clothes on the roof. He says, sure, even if that's not true, it was so early in the investigation that the governor is going to come out and say this only because he misunderstood. That's equivalent to Andrew Wilson stating that Erica saying that nobody was texting Charlie and she still has his phone to confirm that. She just misunderstood. She misspoke. The cognitive dissonance here. Didi looking at the camera when he spots the sarcasm. I'm glad you caught that. I'll say it. I don't like him at all. 0%. I'm not feeling him myself. Warren didn't know the name David Hull, did he? I don't know. Thank you for the $2. Well done, good and faithful son. Thank you so much. Thank you for the $20. The defense were not able to verify the authenticity of the messages and that Tyler sent them. So it's fair to not accept them yet, which is what I said. Fair point. We don't know that. But he's like, yeah, but it's safe to assume based on all the things that they've compiled, they try to make it sound like it's overwhelming. But when you break down each piece of it, it turns out that we really don't have much at all here. But they say we do because it was presented to us. Sure. Thank you for the $10. Didi, I'm pretty sure what you are dealing with in this conversation is neurodivergence. I don't think he was intentional. I'm with you, Didi, but I have seen these traits. Yeah. God blessed Warren with your respect. Thank you for the $2. DDG, would you debate Rob Noor on modern day debates? We're already speaking about that currently. I'm going to try to set that up. I believe he's the guy that went to Candace's house with Andrew Wilson. We've already started talking on X. I was preparing for this conversation, and so I plan to respond to him. He will take you up on this topic for sure. If he does the disingenuous thing as well, I just won't discuss it with him. Came for Warren, stayed for Didi. Appreciate that. Thank you for the $10. I'm curious to know if you came for Warren, that means you're familiar with him. Tell me what you think about his performance and behavior in today's video, since you're familiar with him. Maybe that's normal. Thank you for the $5. Great job. I felt ick about Warren. He warned you 4 times. May have been sent by some sus group handler. Yeah, it's very strange. I guess that's what the other comment meant. Like he threatened me. I don't know what that was. He said you got to just be careful. Like I don't know what that means. I don't like the way that made me feel. What do you mean by that? You know? Yeah. Very, very strange energy. Thank you for the $5. You'd be sarcastic too if you fighting him on 1-on-1 equals 2 and you say it's 4. As if, wait, say it again. You'd be sarcastic too if you fighting him on 1 + 1 = 2 and you say it's 4. As if innocent people should go free if they're not in 4K. Competent lawyers see it, right? Not sure I fully understood the way you framed that sentence, but thank you for the $2. Respect on your classy response. New follower here. Appreciate that. Thank you for the $5. Cheers, bro. Admitted you are new. I suggest watching Andrew Wilson. Even if you don't agree, you learn a lot about debate culture. I'm familiar with Andrew Wilson. I think Andrew Wilson is a good debater. I've seen a lot of it. I don't like all of his tactics. Don't really care for him as a person either. But I agree that he's a strong debater depending on the scenario. I think he made a fool of himself in the conversation with Candace, and I don't even think it's close. Sarcasm and rhetoric is part of debate, bro. Okay. Thank you for the $5. David Hull is the lead investigator who testified he didn't know about the paving until he seen it on the news. Thank you for the $5. Bro was trying to trip you up with condescension. Props, you handled it better than I would have. Well done. Jesus reigns. Amen. Yeah, man. Very strange. Very, very strange. Y'all make sure to hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Yeah, man. Yeah. Very strange energy there, and him telling me to be careful, like just constantly repeating, "Be careful with this." And then he was like, "Oh, you just don't want to get caught up in thinking this way." I don't know. I wonder if he was meaning something else. I don't know. I don't take things like that too lightly, and it seems like he may have been saying something else to me. But he don't really know me in real life, so I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, man. Y'all hop in the comment section as always. Let me know your thoughts. This is a later debate. It's 10 o'clock. It's freaking 10 o'clock. And I'm tired. What do y'all think about the photos? What do y'all think about the performance? What do you think about what's been presented on both sides? I expected him to give more pushback to the things that I shared, and he conceded to majority of it, which is strange. How did you come to 80% convinced Tyler did it then? You have no clear footage that is him on the campus, bro. Like, show me something that I may have missed. I don't know. All right, man. I'm going to get up out of here. Love y'all, man. As I always say, I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. I'm going to catch you all in the next one. Peace.